So that's what those dudes are from. Okay. Oh, shit, we're recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 279 of the Fake Nerd Podcast. I am Ben Magnet, and please do not be fooled by everything you see on my screen here, because we are totally not talking about a way past cool movie that came out this weekend. Instead, we are talking about the garbage fire that is Morbius. That is an absolute... I can't keep that up. No, that movie sucked. We're going to talk about a great movie, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Along with me for this awesome ride with the blue blur is Brandon Knuckles McClure.
Oh, he killed himself over the Morbius joke. It's done.
Over Morbius. Okay. We also have Sparks Tails Witty. Yeah.
Ooh, Tails.
Ooh.
I'm an impetuous little inventor.
If I got a big mustache, I'll be happy.
And we have the one who hasn't grown in his stash yet, Ryan Robotnik Iliopoulos.
Ooh, crazy phrases, McGee over here.
For those of you listening to the show, Ben started this reading a comic book that was the prequel to the movie that we just watched.
Yeah,
right, because those bits don't play in audio, but Ben keeps doing them because they never get old.
And of course, for those of you who are only listening, I have a bunch of my Sonic figurines in my background right here, and also the Sonic and Eggman special thing that came with the Encyclopedia. No, I'm not trying to be funny. That's actually what it's called. The special edition thing that Sparks got me for Christmas is up. It's got Sonic and Eggman facing off. It's really cool.
Hey, Ben, no shade. I also populate my screen, but instead of Sonic memorabilia, it's Post-it notes that I'll never look at again.
That's a lot of Post-it notes, my friend.
I know, that's a problem.
Also, Ben, you'll probably be the only one of us to see Morbius for a long time. I just think that's really funny.
That is very funny.
You might be the only one of us to see it ever.
Maybe.
You know what? I will take that because my guys, it's bad.
Well,
I listened to a podcast where they just like totally, because I don't care, went at it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see that movie.
I'm going to assume whatever they said, they were 100% correct. So let's talk about
74% drop in its second weekend. It was the highest drop that any film ever has experienced in its second weekend.
Well, instead of talking about one of the worst movies to come out in April, let's talk about one of the highest grossing video game films ever made.
Before we do that,
in a while.
Real quickly, it's not the highest grossing video game movie ever made yet.
Almost.
Let's not put our eggs all in one basket.
Highest opening weekend.
That's what I meant.
I hope it reaches that, honestly. But we do have links in the description. I'll take over from here. We have a few links in the description, mostly personal. So I'll talk about what we did as far as this network goes. We put out one episode of Moon Knight. Ryan, Ben, and I were able to record Moon Knight, and Sparks found the time to put it up for us. So the first episode is up now.
It's late. Go check it out.
If you want to know what we thought about the first episode, check it out now. That's linked below. We will record the second episode soon. There's a lot going on in our lives, so it's a little difficult to find the time.
Let's be honest, it's Sunday. You're probably getting episodes 2 and 3 at the same time.
That's what I was going to talk about with you guys after the show, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
No skin off my back. I hope we can record Picard soon. Not you guys, me and Cookie. That was a different note.
Oh, I really thought I was going to join next episode. Crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. My Screen Rant work is linked below as well, as always. A couple of articles went up this week where I wrote a King Kong movie list. It's every Kong live action film. I found out some crazy stuff about the second Japanese King Kong film, King Kong Escapes. I did not know it was an adaptation of a Japanese-made American television series from the 60s that Rankin Bass did. That was 2D. I didn't know that. I thought it was a weird sequel to King Kong versus Godzilla. It's not. So that was crazy. Anyway, that's up there. I did a Godzilla one. This is like the top 10 Godzilla movies. You know how these things go. I did like a multiverse one, which is kind of fun to revisit some multiverse movies that I hadn't seen. Some that I haven't seen in a while. It's like the ones up there. I had to really get specific with my list to make sure the one ended up on that list. Because I'm like, it's getting on here. I don't care what I have to do.
It's a multiverse movie. Why would
it is a multiverse movie. That's why I was like, it's got to get there.
Yeah.
There was another one, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, So there's a ton on there if you want to check them out. There's an MCU one. I did an MCU one. All the times that they've changed like a power or an origin to fit the MCU. We're seeing it with Moon Knight. We're going to see it with Miss Marvel. Shang-Chi got the rings, and he's only just getting them, and the things like that.
Sure.
I'll actually do this one now. The purchase link for Kaiju Ramen is available down thing. I just want to make a quick note. I do have the physical version of this now. It is a beautiful square bound magazine now. It's no longer just kind of stapled. It looks gorgeous, brilliant. My article is not in this issue.
Looks great though.
Looks great though. My article was meant to be in this issue. It is in. You can see it. It's in you can't see it, but this in the table of contents. It was supposed to be there. It is not. It will be in the next issue. A boo-boo was made. No shame to anybody involved.
Prince Abubu.
Prince Abubu.
This Prince Abubu person.
So that's that. You can, if you want the issue, there's a lot of great articles in them, and they're physical digitally. I still linked it below because I've been doing it for a while. I also put up a new issue for what do I call these things? Entry. Entry. And the Revisiting the Infinity Saga series. This was episode 41. This was about Obadiah Stane, kind of his turn and kind of the archetype that he cemented into the MCU. So, we've talked about it before. It's the villain who shares the same powers as the hero.
Tony!
Yeah.
Where's Tony?
I really wanted to find a way to talk about Obadiah Stane and Jeff Bridges because I like that character and I like that role. I like Jeff Bridges. So I did that. So that's up now.
I definitely kind of wish he'd ended up in prison and circled back around for like some involvement in an Iron Man story later.
Sure.
And if not him, the basis off my favorite Iron Man comic, Matt Fraction's one, where his son is doing lots of really bad shady shit, turning himself to a living Iron Man suit with like finger blasts and taking over his dad's company. Like there are so many directions with the Stains that they
maybe we could still get his son.
Maybe Armor Wars. Could be Armor Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Armor Wars. Maybe Ironheart.
Could do it. Absolutely. If you want to tie more Stark stuff together,
yeah. Ben.
Yeah.
Now we're on to the Ben side of the things.
Oh, the Ben side of things. That's a thing, isn't it?
You have an OSG article that you forgot to promote this week.
Yeah, I totally forgot. So I wrote this. So premise of what the article is about is essentially what PlayStation has to do to keep a lot of people in, or to have people put in money for the new PlayStation Plus thing that's coming in June. So it's essentially an opinion piece on what they need to do. Essentially, they have to have an amazing lineup of games for their older stuff, and the emulation has to be spot on. They nail those things, they might get a lot of people's money. Mm-hmm. So that's up there. And yeah, I totally forgot to promote it because I posted that around like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and went to bed.
That's fair. That happens. You have a crazy job with crazy hours.
And you do a lot of stuff too. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And then to get your mind off of that, where do you want to talk about your TikTok? In your week or in this?
I'll talk about it during my week.
Okay. So, then you also got published in a magazine this week.
Yes. So my issue 31 of Fusion Gaming Magazine, a publication based out of England, my debut issue,
Ishmael.
Call me Ishmael. Is on sale on the Fusion website right now. If you subscribe to the Patreon before this, you should be getting in the mail very soon. I mean, just give it a little extra time because this is coming all the way over from the Atlantic. But if you go ahead and if you didn't subscribe, you can go to the website FusionRetroBooks.com. Just like click the menu button, scroll to Fusion Magazine. Issue 31 is the one at the very top. You can buy the one or as many copies as you want. And that not only has my first 2 issues, but also they were kind enough to put even my freaking name on the cover.
Look at you, big boy.
So
your Mick frickin' name, you might say.
Yeah, my Mick frickin' name's on there.
That's
exciting.
The link to purchase just that magazine, I did not link the page for Fusion. I just linked that issue is down below. You can check it out. So if you want to just not search through that, because I'll be honest, the site's a little difficult for me to navigate. So maybe if it is for anybody else, you could just click on the link in our description.
Oh, trust me, you're not the only one.
Grayson, I want to bring up his comment real quick.
Yes.
I mean, I can't do it,
I got it.
Yeah.
Sooner than you think, my guy.
Yeah, Armor Wars, right?
Mm-mm.
No, I know, but she's debuting in Armor Wars, isn't she? And then
BP2.
Black Panther, baby.
Black Panther 2, that was the other one, right?
Okay.
Right.
I don't know if that's still coming out this year, but like very soon.
Yeah.
That's right. It was Black Panther 2. I remember it being. I remember us talking about it when that was announced, and it being like, that's an interesting place to put her, but I'm excited.
Not the place you'd expect, but yes.
Yeah.
I do think that means, like, not to derail this whole thing. I do think that means that they're following up on the like Wakandan outreach.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's actually a plot line we're going to follow. Which
She's going to be
I'm hoping so.
Working with them somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she'll spin off into her own series.
Woo-hoo.
And then speaking of Grayson, though, great segue.
Yeah.
Ben, you have 4 episodes. Once again, this time we're put up in 1 week. Let's talk about the 2 Sonic Mario parties, Super Mario parties that were put up this week first.
Super Mario World, but that's okay. I mean,
whatever.
Well, I mean, when Grace and I get together, it's a party. So yeah, we got together. We put up some more Super Mario 3D World. We're still having an absolute blast playing that game. And because the Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out, I brought my Sega Genesis Mini to his house. We plugged it in, and we had to stream us playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Boy, am I rusty as all hell on Chemical Plant Zone. You would think after years of playing this game, I would know that stage by the back of my hand, and being able to beat Dr. Robotnik is no problem, right? I kept dying, and I brought dishonor to myself. But it is very funny to watch, so I still recommend watching it.
All right. Well, since you already talked about both of those, that's it. Who wants to go first of the week?
Not me. I always go first.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Sparkles.
Also, I didn't do anything besides play Elden Ring.
I have minimal to share. I finished Jujutsu Kaisen.
Nice.
Great season. Happy that I finished it. Enjoyed that anime. Solid.
That movie. You gonna watch that movie next?
I don't know if I'm gonna go to theaters to catch it, but I will watch the movie one way or another.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was still in theater as well.
It's still playing in some places. I just don't know if I'm gonna have the time with everything going on this month to make it out for like a essentially solo endeavor to see that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not that passionate about the franchise.
Yeah.
To do so. If I had like other people who were watching it to go with. But I am excited to see that. It's a solid anime. A solid season. I'm glad I finally went back and finished it. Because I finished Jujutsu Kaisen, before I go back to Gundam, I decided to pick up where I left off in my rewatch of Cowboy Bebop. So I'm doing that.
Right. I was doing that too.
Let's see. I watched The Suicide Squad again because I was showing it to my mom and our friend of the podcast, Jeremy and Pepper, and they loved it, and I loved it, and I loved it a lot. Now having like Peacemaker in my brain and going back, there's some stuff that I'm like, this is some good character work here. Yeah.
Juicy stuff.
Really like it. I think it's a great movie. And I watched some Moon Knight, but we're not talking about that. We'll talk about it at a later time. And I watched Sonic the Hedgehog, not this one, but the other one.
Real quickly, I want to know. I just want to know, like, brief Moon Knight, like it or no.
Oh God, it's garbage. But no, I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I
was like this close to like, oh, this is gonna be a very, very hostile Fake Nerds watch when we get to it because I love it.
I'm happy with Moon Knight right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll get into it at a later date. Like there's a weird vibe to it where like I don't feel the pressing itch that I usually do for more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not necessarily the series' fault, but just me as a person right now.
Sure.
Life.
I watched Sonic the Hedgehog, but not this one, but the other one again, and that was cool because I just wanted while I was doing some packing and stuff because we're getting ready to leave this place. Just as a refresher, this is solid. It's not as solid as this one though. Spoilers. And the last thing is, I barely did this, but I do want to talk about it a little bit. Is I started playing Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga just a little teeny tiny bit. It was something that I just touched a little because I was like, I don't have time that I want to get sucked into Elden Ring. I don't feel like doing Fortnite or Chaos City. I have this right here. I just want to see where it's at. So I opened up the Phantom Menace and I just started playing a little bit, and it's very cool. It looks very, very good. A lot of the good Lego stuff. There's good gags. There's cool interpretations of things. the hub open world feeling of it is a little problematic to me. Only in the sense that like you could go a lot of places, but there's not a lot of point to going a lot of places. Some of the maps are a little too open to the point of like, sure, once in every 4 corridors, you might find one of the special things that you can find in a Lego game, but you'll still go down 3 corridors that you're basically just going to smash some stuff to get some coins, and then you're going to go. And there's a lot of that.
So
there's a lot of like repetitive area stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how necessary that's going to be in the long run. For like, they built all this area, and I'm like, but is there really a point, or should I just continue just doing the story?
So
like, why should I go off and explore? Because I think I'm going to earn enough money just from the sheer amount of things I can do. So I don't know that there's a point to like wandering all these spaces that don't seem to have a lot catered to them. That being said, there are other parts of that where I saw like, oh, this is for free play. You need this kind of character for this kind of area, that kind of thing. And so maybe I'll feel a little differently about how that feels. There definitely are still some spaces that I wandered into where there is nothing. There is no thing I can't do. It just doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of dead ends. It's like a cul-de-sac of just, hey, do you want to earn some money here? You can. But it's not really doing anything. It's not giving me like even just a fun like joke or visual sight of a different kind of thing that I didn't see in the other space. Like it's just kind of there it is. This happened on when you first land on Naboo is what I explored where right before you go to the Gungan city, and on the Trade Federation ship, both of them having like places where I just kind of like wandered around, and then I'm like, there's nothing here, okay, goodbye. And like it takes a little bit.
Question.
Yeah.
If you want to leave a planet, I doubt this is the case, but could you just hop in a ship and just fly away and go to a different planet?
Eventually, that seems to be the case. You can't do it when you're like engaged in the narrative.
So
right.
So I haven't played it, but I've watched reviews, listen to podcasts, people who play it. You do the story missions. That's how you unlock new characters, and then you go into free mode and use those characters to do things that you couldn't do before. You go into the open world, and it is varied how much stuff there is to do in the open world. But there are tons of planet over 9 games, so there won't be a lot of stuff on each individual planet. It's going to be spread out over 9 movies and like 30 planets, or whatever. Right?
I do think like my general note about it is again like not a huge like knock on the game. Like I think that when you're first playing through, as I did, like you kind of will want to go look because you can in a lot of places. Maybe don't do that.
It's
Maybe
the opposite of Elden Ring, to be honest.
Honestly, just play the story. Just play through the story and go do exploration later, because you're going to get diminishing returns on just wandering around the open spaces early in the game. Also, there's just not a lot to benefit from.
Sure.
One of the interesting things, because you can choose you have to choose by the trilogy, right? You have to choose by the trilogy. But like, if you start in episode 4, the first characters you get are the droids. And if you want to free play after that, the only characters you have are the droids. And that's not exactly fun. Whereas if you start in episode 1, you start with Obi-Wan, you start with Anakin, you get Qui-Gon, you get Darth Maul, you get all these incredibly fun characters you can do so much stuff with. So it almost gives you like incentive to start at like quote unquote not the right start to start at. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want, but like in terms of like quote unquote canon stuff, like so it's almost like a detriment. Like if you started like 7, 8, 9, like you get Rey and Finn, which you can take to like episode 1 world, but you can't use that in story. It's just in the free play mode.
So it sounds like
it's kind of interesting in that way, you know.
It sounds like the game's trying to incentivize you to play in chronological order instead of release order.
Well, that's just if you want to utilize free play more. Like again, like you can play you can do free roam stuff as R2D2, but you probably won't want to do that as much as like a Darth Maul or a Qui-Gon. Yeah. So it's just like it gives you incentive, like, I might as well start episode 1 to get the good shit.
But you can't free roam anything until you've explored it.
Until you beat the story stuff.
So like you're gonna unlock who you're gonna unlock and then go through.
But it is a situation where like these games have always been narratively kind of focused, and this is the first time where it is like almost like an Elden Ring where there's so much open world stuff to do. But instead of like you can do anything at when you want, you do have to unlock all the shit first. Yeah. And that is the thing I've seen some people rub up against.
Well, so I played the last Lego game I played was Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a good game. It's a very just toned down version of any just Star Wars game. And I think that what I'm hearing is that the like play the narrative, get the free play. It's very similar to a Lego game, as it were. They just added a larger open world, because Force Awakens has an open world. It's just sparse as fuck.
Yeah.
So like it feels like that they did do more to spread out the world, but at the end of the day, it is still a Lego game.
Yeah, because like a lot of the games, because like I said that, but like the Avengers games have open world stuff too. The difference is like this is spread out over 9 movies over a bunch of planets, whereas it's not centralized like an Avengers New York City where it's all in one place.
Yeah.
So
Force
like you
Awakens
have
only
to
had
play
like
the
2
entire
planets.
game. Say that again.
Force Awakens only had like 2 planets, I think.
Okay, that's not that bad, but like in New York, you can do whatever you want, whereas like you have to play everything to get everything. Kind of.
I do want to. I still think there's a lot of value in the game. It really is just me like giving you the heads up if it's something you're going to play. Just focus on the story first, because I just wanted to see what was around and what I could do and what the game was going to feel like. I wasn't like focusing on the story, and so what that ended up with is me doing a lot of like. And I'm going to try not to be hyperbolic when I say this. Like the Trade Federation ship at the beginning of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when you're with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, you have like 8 hallways you can go down, and none of them leading to the story point, like 8 alternative hallways you can go down. And only one of them has something at the end that is for free play mode where like you access with a character. All the rest just has things you can smash if you want to get money. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And I'm like, that's just, don't need to bother with that. That's a lot of space that I just don't need to enter into because it's not that valuable to me. But like, again, like if you're going to go spending the time doing it, do it in free play mode, because it's super just not worth it when you're first starting.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay focused on the story track at first.
Makes sense.
Yep, that's it.
I'll go. So I beat Elden Ring. I'm still playing it. I'm now 135 hours in. Thank you, by the way. So I beat like the main storyline boss, but there are still 2 hidden bosses. Well, not hidden because I found them, but there are 2 bosses that I haven't beat because they're really, really hard. I'm currently trying to find a guy named Dragon Lord Plasudisax, and he is like, I posted a video on Twitter, and if you haven't seen it, it's like, it might be like one of the coolest. I keep saying this about every Elden Ring boss fight, but it's true. Like, it's like the coolest boss fight I've ever been in. It's this 2-headed Ghidorah-esque dragon who summons lightning with his hands. His claws turn into lightning claws. He also teleports and like does like a booming rocket attack. And he's like this like Godzilla-sized being. It's so much fun. I don't mind that I spent 2 hours losing to him, because when I beat him, dude, I'm gonna like orgasm. I swear to God, it's incredible. Like the thrill of this game, like that final boss. I'm not going to spoil anything except because the moment couldn't be spoiled with me saying this. Like, it does the anime thing where it plays the theme song with the final boss, but it is an orchestra heavy, hard bombast version with more horns, more orchestra. And y'all, I got so emotional because this is the first Souls game that Ben, you've beaten more Souls game than I have. Actually, I've beaten Bloodborne. Yeah, I've played all of them. I have never beaten all of them. I've put many hours into all of them, but I've always hit the roadblock where like it's a boss that I can't beat. I'm like, well, I'm just done. I got my satisfaction, 30, 40, 50 hours in. This one, I can do whatever I want and play with friends and all this stuff to make it super easy. Oh my God. This is going to be my favorite thing of the year. It's going to be very hard. I don't even know what's like Doctor Strange. There's no way Doctor Strange is better than Elden Ring. Like God of War, if it's not delayed, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. Like
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That might win out of just artistic integrity.
Yeah.
But Elden Ring is also like pure art, man. It's like, I'm watching lore videos on it. Like I'm helping. I've played so many hours just helping other people. Like doing invasions, like being the bad guy, like screwing other people over. That's more fun than you'd think. Because you go in and like the horrible thing about when you invade another world is the enemies don't attack you, but like it's still like a regular world for them. So like you can lead them to enemies and they'll just get slaughtered, and you're just like, what's up? This is stupid. And like that's the game. That's the game you signed up for. And that's something that I just really appreciate. And now that I've been like a bad guy, it's really fun. And there's actually like a great rune. There's a boss when you beat him. He gives you like extra runes if you invade. That's his power. Like, and I'm like, oh, so like you're giving me incentive to be an asshole. Thank you, video game. Like if you give me a reason to do something, I'll try it. And that's what's so fun about this game. There's so many weapons, so many spells, so many different things where I'm just like, I want to try all of it. Like, I don't know when I'm going to stop playing this game. It's insane. Like I've beaten it, and it's like, do you want to start the game over with all of your weapons and your skills, but it's harder? And I'm like, eventually. I still have maybe 15, 20 more hours of finding shit. Like I was today trying to find a talisman to make my dragon spells stronger. Because I'm just like, I keep trying to get a little bit better. Like there's this one spot where I keep testing how strong I'm getting. And every time I hit this troll, like my little like attack meter goes up and up and up. And now I finally hit over 1,000 damage. And I'm like, yes, I feel like Frieza. It's like, I feel like a god. It's so fun. That's all I did this week. I was playing it right before this podcast. Like that's all I want to do. It's so fun. Can you hand me the comics over there? There's 2 X-Men comics right on top. Give me those 2. Yeah, give me that one and give me these. I bought some comics this week. I only read the X-Men ones because that's who I am. X-Men Red came out. It's excellent. I was gonna say Al Ewing. No, it's Al Ewing. Yeah, it's Al Ewing. It's fantastic. It's Queen of Mars, Storm. She's leader of Araco. She's the leader of like the universe, and like everyone's challenging her because she's like, you're a lady from Earth. What do you know about struggle? And she's like, bro, my whole life is struggle. And it's really well written. They're introduced the Fisher King, which is new Iraqi mutant, and we read about a Fisher King in a comic that we did in the book club. And I'm just like, thinking about mythology. It's really great. X-Men Red, another new #1. Can't wait to read more X-Men. It's great. Bad news, y'all. Marauders #1 by Steve Orlando. It's fine. It's got some art that it's the first time in a while that I struggled with the art. It is very much like, and I do not mean this as an insult, Ben specifically, it reminds me of Ruby. It's very anime. It's like the most anime I've seen a Marvel comic be in a while. And the expressions are super expressive, and it's just not for me. I think with everything the X-Men's building, especially after reading X-Men Red, which is just stupendously gorgeous art, and like I think it just might be my style. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just did not care for it, and it's the first time in a while that I've had a visceral reaction to art where I'm just like, ooh, if it's the same artist for the whole arc, I might drop it. As much as I like Steve Orlando, and like honestly, the story wasn't good enough for me to really want to continue it. It was very much like we gather the team. Here's the mission. And I'm like, I've read that X-Men story truly 100 times. So we'll see. I had high hopes for it. I'll give it one more issue, but the art just kind of hurt me.
Real quick,
that's it.
Because Grayson brought it up.
Yeah.
What are our hours in Elden Ring? Because he just got the game.
135.
Like 23.
68.
Ooh, 1 more hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 1 more hour. 1 more hour.
I have put no time in for 2 weeks.
No, man, you've been busy.
I've been busy.
Yeah.
We've all been busy. I'll go next for my week. So unfortunately, I had to cancel my stream on Monday because this week was one of those weeks where it's like I have a bunch of writing stuff I need to get done. And at the same time, when I would sit down to do said writing projects, my brain would decide to switch off and go, lol, what are words? Keyboard go, brr. It was,
oh my god.
I got him.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a hard week. A lot of very late nights or very early mornings, but I got it done. I got stuff done, and I'm proud of myself for that. And I was actually able, when I finished all my stuff on Thursday night, because I told myself I need to get this done before Friday. So Friday morning, I looked on my Instagram and I saw that my friend Ali Sai from Australia was playing some Fortnite. So the first video game I played this week was Fortnite with her significant other, and another friend of theirs in Australia. And I played no build mode for the first time, and it was actually pretty fun.
I want to play it so bad, but Elden Ring.
But yeah, exactly. But Elden Ring. So before I get into other stuff like the Elden Ring, I want to get into something that we don't normally talk a whole lot, and that's music. I got a new album this week, and I listened to it quite a few times, and it's rad.
It's Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I didn't know they released their album. Cool.
They did. It's good.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yep. Unlimited Love is fantastic. It's very funky, and normally I don't know if this is me just like trying to get with the lingo of people use today, but that you can easily vibe to that song. Like I was at work listening to it, and I'm just like constantly bobbing my head to Flea's bass line. The guitar solos are great, and it's just very funky and very kick back, and it's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Black
Summer, that's been on the airwaves all over, but I think my other favorite songs are Here After Ever, which is the second track, which is really good. Poster Child is very chill, and I actually really enjoy She's a Lover, These Are the Ways, One Way Traffic, Let 'Em Cry, and Let 'Em Cry. Those are all really good songs.
I don't keep up with. I keep up with like modern, quote unquote, like pop music. Like Charlie XCX had her album come out recently, which is very good. But yeah, like I didn't know the Peppers. I love the Peppers, but I haven't listened to them really like in a long time. So like to hear they have a good album is like, oh, I'll listen to that or
Yeah, I mean, I still liked The Getaway. The Getaway's fine, but there's a lot of songs on Unlimited Love that's like, man, I could re-listen to this countless times.
This is like random access memories for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ew, interesting. Okay, different vibes.
I've been listening to the Peacemaker soundtrack.
Nice.
That's a good soundtrack.
Because you want to taste it.
Yeah. So besides listening to music and also playing Fortnite, I did also play Elden Ring. But mostly I played Elden Ring last night and today. I played a little bit with my brother. And last night, Ryan, you'd be happy with me because I beat the second ancestral spirit all by myself. Took him down.
Oh, the floaty, corpsey.
Yeah.
That music is it the same music? Is it still the beautiful music? Damn, dude.
And best part, Grayson and Mag watched me do it. They were on my stream when I was playing on a Friday night. Or
honestly, if I'm being honest, like I don't think with your schedule, I don't know if I'll ever get there. But like I'm not doing New Game Plus yet until I get to beat the game with you. Until you get to that point, because if I do New Game Plus and it starts you over like at literally everything, and like I'm just gonna like I just want to help you get there.
Yeah, I was able to.
I'm a little baby. It's going to take me a long time.
You're a busy boy.
And I'm a little baby. And it's going to take me a long time.
No, one of the things I'm so excited about with playing with Grayson, and also since I was playing with my brother today, because today my brother and I went through Raya Lucaria. Like we beat Raya Lucaria. We fought Radigan's Red Dog, and we fought Renala.
I love Renala.
And dude, we wrecked Renala's shit. Like Ryan, when you and I fought Renala, she was summoning, she was like dishing everything out left and right. Dude, we took her out. Her second form, her super hard form. Oh no, she was done in like 30 seconds.
Because you're a pro gamer now.
I don't know what we did, but we just wrecked her like straight up.
Did she summon a dragon?
Nope, not. She didn't summon a single thing when we took her down.
Oh, it's too spicy. It's too lucky.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that Ryan's saying about Elden Ring is true. I'm really excited to go back and play with Grayson so I can show him all the great stuff and like go through all the catacombs and the dungeons. It's super fun.
Ooh! I want to real quick. Sorry, man. I want to talk about like I was thinking about like why do I love Elden Ring so much, and I'm like. On this podcast specifically, like we talk about narrative games a lot because it's taken video games a long time to get to the point where they get like treated with respect. It's mostly because I've had really terrible stories. And now we're at a point where like we get cinematic shit on the daily. Like every couple of weeks, there is some new hot shit coming out, right? We forget like it's video games, but sometimes we forget that they're video games. And the thing about Elden Ring is it is one of the best video games ever made. Mm-hmm. It could have less story, more story, but the thing is, like, I just want to play that game nonstop. The thing is about like I love Uncharted. That's a 12-hour experience, and like I'll get the same thing if I do. It's like it's not going to be any different if I play Uncharted again, right? Elden Ring, I can play that game 100 different ways for literally 1,000 hours. Like, and I can do it, and like, yeah, I'm fighting the same bosses, but like every time I do it is a different way to do it,
right?
And I'm just like. Oh man, like sometimes I get so wrapped up in like narrative. I'm like, I forget, like, video games are video games. And like, this really made me unlock, like, I just want to play hard games again. I used to love, it reminds me, Ben, like, you're the retro guy, like, it reminds me of old school games that don't explain shit. Those Castlevania games, Metroid, they don't explain shit to you. You just have to play the game and learn it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's how video games used to be. And I'm like, oh yeah, video games are good. Oh my God.
This is very much like a Super Metroid, where the game, like Super Metroid, it drops you into a planet, doesn't tell you anything, doesn't tell you go that way, it doesn't give you any semblance of that. I mean, Elden Ring, it does give you like, hey, maybe go that ish direction, but it does
halfway.
But here's the thing about Elden Ring that's so good though. It may say, hey, go in that ish direction, but it doesn't force you to go in that ish direction. It's like, yeah, you could go that way, but there may be some cool shit over there that can help you. You never know. And I'm not gonna tell you. So yeah, Elden Ring, I mean, yes, Elden Ring is great. I cannot wait to play more. I'm probably going to be playing more tonight because I hate myself and I do that. But I also bought comic books today, guys. I went and I got comic books. Obviously, I got the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 prequel that I haven't read. But I also got something that I thought I was going to trade weight for. And when I saw it at the store, I kept thinking about it. I'm like, nah, I'm going to get it now. And I got The Dark Knights of Steel.
Oh yeah.
So I have the first little like 1 through 3 book, and also I have issues 4 and 5 as well. Because
Nice.
I mean, there's this really cool variant cover of issue 1 with Batman on a horse, on like with him being like the Black Knight. It was very Arthurian and kick ass looking, and I was like, that looks so rad. I didn't get the variant cover, but I'm like, man, I really want to read this book. And I was talking to the store shop, the shopkeeper, and he was like, this is some of the best DC stuff I've ever read, and it's not even close to being canon. I'm like, Tom Taylor, he knows what he's doing when he goes outside of canon, and I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, that dude excels, and just let me tell a story. And okay, you got it, dude. Yeah.
So
Wait,
I picked up
I'm really excited for DC's 3. Like, super stoked for DC's 3.
Yeah, so I picked up Dark Knights of Steel, and I'm trying to think, what else did I do besides freak out at a Sonic the Hedgehog movie yesterday with my friends. No, that's pretty much all the nerd stuff. Oh, I created TikTok. That's the other thing I was going to mention. I am finally part of the TikTok algorithm. So same thing, same username as all my other socials, BenMagnet27. I got like 3 videos up there right now, so I'll be adding more soon.
Are they video game based, I'm guessing?
Some of them are, and there might be something about me bitching and moaning about my management at work, because that was definitely on my mind this week.
Definitely don't mention any names.
No names will be mentioned. That's their tomfoolery.
Full disclosure, I've been considering doing a Fake Nerds TikTok just to get some clips up on TikTok of the show, but I don't have the time for that. So, I'll be sharing Ben's post once he figures out how to put them on Instagram. Okay, my turn then. Where do I want to start? I watched Sonic the Hedgehog. I'll start there. No, you know what? I'll eat the broccoli first. I went to see Uncharted. I kind of still wanted to, even after hearing wanted to. Yeah, I guess I wanted to. Like,
you wanted to. You went to go see it. You wanted to. Yeah.
I felt like watching something. I felt like watching something new, something different. Something
based on an IP.
No, I mean like going to the movies and not just going to see Spider-Man or going to see the Batman. Like I thought about that, but I was like, I want to see something that I haven't seen in theaters right now. So
it is hard to go to the theater and not put one down to see the Batman.
Yes, it is.
I've done it twice.
So I went to see Uncharted, and with low expectations, I ended up having a pretty good time. It's got some good laughs. There's some good adventuring. It's a really bad Uncharted adaptation, though. And I think Tom Holland's doing okay as Nathan Drake. He's certainly not the worst choice to do the character. He's doing an okay job. I'm sure he could get better at doing it. But my God, they got Victor Sullivan. Not just even the casting, just how they wrote the character. All wrong.
Yeah.
Right, because they just wrote him like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and it's just that was the heartbreaking part. You know who they nailed though? Chloe. They really got Chloe down.
She looked from the trailers like it was going to be the best part.
Yeah. She's in it very little. The way they write her off is kind of shitty, but yeah, it's got some good spectacle. It's a fun adventure film. It doesn't hold a candle to any of the adventure films it's trying to mimic, or even Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise is better than Uncharted. So like I don't mean to sound so positive with Uncharted, although I feel like I'm probably not as I feel I am. But yeah, that's all. It's a movie. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
And you know what takes me off the most about it? We're just never going to get another Uncharted movie. They're not going to make a sequel because it didn't do well. And I know it did all right, but I don't think we're getting that sequel.
No, you know what'll be better? We'll just get like a great TV show with somebody who actually like knows what they're doing.
I could see You're right. Because I was thinking like, well, you can never do a movie again. Not for at least 20 years.
You just do season like arcs of like an arc and adventure. Like
yeah. Boy, I had no idea how much of Drake's character changed if you add Sam in from the beginning of the story.
It like doesn't it take away like all of his agency because now he's just all doing stuff just because of his brother?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm never gonna see this movie.
Like I just like it was so strange to me because like at first I was like, well, okay, well mentioning Sam does kind of make sense. He was a late addition to the game. He'd be in the time period that we're talking about. Sure, whatever. But the fact that Sam doesn't grow up with Nate and doesn't leave him, like betray him, and like that changed everything. Like Nate's whole thing was, I have to do this for my brother Sam. I have to go find my brother Sam. And it's like, no. And like Sully is like, Sam's the best guy I ever knew. And I'm like, in the game, Sully hated Sam.
It's like
because Sam comes back into Nate's life in the 4th game, and Sully is the one who's like, this is a mistake. He's a bad influence on you.
No, he's family. It's gonna be fine. I promise. It wasn't fine.
Yeah. Grayson's comment, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Did you see the Nathan Fillion one? I did enjoy that.
It's a short film. It's real good.
People are saying that Nathan Fillion should still play Nathan Drake. No, he's too old.
If you like, it would. If you want to do old man Drake, sure. But like, let's just do the character first. Get it right.
Yeah. I could see a TV show getting maybe an unknown.
Old man Drake, get Brendan Fraser.
No. Then I just want to make the Mummy.
Yeah, you just make the Mummy again.
Old man Mummy.
Yeah.
Old man. I was gonna call it Old Man Mummy, but Old Man Brendan Fraser in a mummy movie that takes place during the 40s. Oh, I can dig that.
It's probably 50s by now, right?
Yeah, give it 20.
It'd be about 50s.
Yeah.
Because it took place in the 20s when they first started, right? Or was that the 10s?
I don't know. Is it 1920 or 1910?
It's been 20 years. You got to make it 20 years. Whatever. We'll just
You know what? How about
well,
this?
the third film is definitely after World War II.
Okay, so 50s then, maybe, or maybe 60s. Who knows? This is a tangent.
It's a fun tangent. I like talking about the Mummy.
And you know what? You know what that means? It just means I need to sit down and rewatch the Mummy again because that film is.
Oh my god! Everything is video games today.
Is it?
Oh yeah, for me. So I also watched Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I wanted to refresh. I hadn't seen it since theaters. Really solid flick. It's still weird to me that they adapted it the way they did. It certainly paid off with the film that we're talking about today. But yeah, it's got some good laughs. I like the character of Sonic. I like James Marsden. Good stuff.
Makes me so happy to hear you say that.
I mean, I liked it when I first saw it. It's just it didn't really do a lot for me. And now that I'm kind of invested through the second film, like it does give me some more interest in going back to the first one.
Still, just makes me happy.
I watched the latest episode of Halo, another video game property. I watched the latest episode of Halo. So it's episode 3, and I'm starting to kind of see. I'm not saying we're cooking with gas, but we're trying to light the lighter, and we're doing okay. I can kind of see the vision now. Not vision's a strong word. I can kind of see like where they want to go with it, and kind of making it stand apart from the first game. They introduced Cortana in this latest episode, and there's an interesting change where she's now in his skin. So like the upgrade was made within his own body instead of the helmet.
That's not I don't hate that change. That's fine.
I'm not saying I did. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying like that's a change. That's like that's a cool change.
Well, they did it because if you're not going to have Master Chief in his helmet, you need to have Cortana with him at all times. How do you do that? You put it in his skin. I get it. Makes sense. Cortana is also life size. I was not prepared for that when she shows up just next to Master Chief, and I'm like, okay.
Did she still look weird?
Yeah, she looks a little weird.
Okay.
She has more blue though, so they did listen to us in one way.
That's something.
At least I think, guys.
Go back and change that one in post, just like
saturate. Yeah, so her being life size is interesting. But they do this thing where Master Chief gets completely butt naked, and he takes out this inhibitor in his back, which is stopping him from feeling. So all feeling. So that's why he's been an unfeeling kind of Spartan. He can't taste. He can't experience senses in the same way that we do. And Bokeem Woodbine says, "I took mine out and opened up this world. You don't even know what an apple tastes like. You should do that." And so that kind of gets him thinking. Because the ring is calling to him and is already thinking about his past life. And so he decides. So there's this interesting scene where he's experiencing things for the first time, and Cortana is kind of walking him through it. It's actually pretty good. I feel like this should have been the first episode. Kind of, you could have compacted the first two and made it just kind of this. And I think there would have been a stronger beginning to the show. I can see a world where the first season ends really strong, though. And I'm happy about that.
Well, we're definitely getting that season 2, so I'd hope it leans into a better direction.
Yeah. I also found out something interesting about the hunters. I had no idea that the hunters were just a colony of worms. I thought they were just one giant like spindly dude. And so like what we thought was the flood in the trailer, the girl following like the flood like things, that's a hunter. The hunter just like made himself into worms and started attacking a UNSC ship. I thought that was kind of a cool scene. So yeah, I was happy with the latest episode. Hopefully it, if it gets better or if it stays this way, I could be happy with the full season.
I've heard people like this third episode, so like that is hopeful.
And then I played Halo Infinite.
Yay!
I decided to I've been interested in playing it for a while after the good word of mouth from Ryan and other people obviously trying to play it, but that was months ago, and so I was kind of okay with not.
What am I?
Did you play it?
Yeah,
chopped Halo liver.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't get as far as him, but I played it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Then you as well. Everybody says nice things. I was interested, but in order for me to play it, I didn't want to buy the game. I just wanted to go through Game Pass, so I finally did Game Pass. Got $1 for the first month when you sign up. Hell of a deal. So I downloaded Halo Infinite, and yeah, it's really fun. I was happy to kind of be in the Halo world that I was familiar with after coming from the show, and like there's Master Chief as I know him, and not Cortana, because they introduced a new AI weapon.
Nobana.
Yeah, it's got a really fun gameplay. I'm really liking the story. I'm a little confused about the story, even though I like it. Because of the 6-month time jump, I'm sure they'll fill in the gaps.
Not really.
Oh no.
I'll tell you what, the story doesn't. It's not the best part of the game.
Well,
but it's certainly no 5.
That's what I come through for Halo is the story. I got really invested in the story, and a lot of my confusion comes to the fact that I don't remember 5 that well. And I know they do erase some things, but they don't mention some things, but there is some things. Also, I never played Halo Wars 2, and there's a character that I keep talking about that's from Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, Halo 5 isn't as significant as Halo Wars 2 is.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, which is cool for canon reasons, but yeah, we have to know that.
Yeah, like Halo Wars 2, that's the strategic game for those you don't know. Yeah, way different than any of the Halos.
It is Kingdom Hearts rules, 100%. Yeah.
But the gameplay is super fun. I really like how they kind of beefed up Master Chief to make him quicker. That grapple hook is great. It's all the new enemy designs are fun. And I'm interested in the story, and I like the interplay with the weapon and Master Chief. I think she's a fun character, and one of the things that I really like carrying over from 4 is that Master Chief's guilt over Cortana. I'm glad that they're leaning more into that. Because the first game, the 5th game told us they were, and then when Locke was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go kill Cortana. You can't come with us because you don't want to do that, right?" Master Chief's like, "No, I want to kill her too. Let's go." I was like, "What the hell are we doing this for then?"
# face the truth.
But this one is like I failed. I couldn't bring myself to destroy her. I like it. It's a good game. I'm playing a lot of it. I got a month to finish it because I can't afford full Game Pass.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm sure. The talking about a lot about open world like Legos and Elden Ring. I think the open world is fine. It's well designed. I kind of miss the variety of the designs of the first Halo or the first 3 Halo games, especially because you can get dropped into a snow region, a mountain region, a grassy region. But with this Halo game, it's just the one kind of fine normal region with a lot of roads.
Yeah, we talked about it at dinner, but for the listeners, Halo Infinite had a very troubled production. The game was almost cut in half to meet its deadline, and the game came out really good. Like the half of the game we got's really good. You can tell there's not a lot of variety, and Brandon, you've done probably some of the side mission stuff. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of variety there either. So you've done that's what you're doing the entire game. So if you like doing that, which I did, you're gonna have a good time. But the variety isn't there as much as other open world games. Yeah, the gameplay is fun enough that it does keep you engaged, but there is a sense of kind of we're doing the same thing over again, even within the narrative. You do some of you get to an open world area, and then there are three waypoints you got to get to, and you got to travel to each waypoint, and you can do them in whatever order. It's cool, that's fine. There's
cosmetics for multiplayer. There's like Spartan Course to level up, which are really important. There's audio logs that could help fill in some story gaps if you want to go look for them. But there's nothing really populating the world except for just Covenant you got to kill.
Yeah.
And that's, I understand the crunch time and that, so it's not really a criticism. It's just open world Halo. I was kind of hoping for more.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it. That's my week.
Beautiful.
Shall we get into our bread and butter then?
It's chili dog time.
Well, not yet.
No.
All right. Not sad news up top this week.
Yay.
Nobody died.
As far as we know.
Yay.
As far as we know.
I mean, there's still a war happening, and I feel bad for all of those people, but
Yes.
no celebrities died.
Mm-hmm. Will Smith's career died. What?
No.
Not talking about that.
No.
Lakers fans hopes and dreams.
I'm
died.
sorry. It flew through my mind. I was like, that's a good thing to say. And then right when I said it, I was like, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Quickly scheming off that, Lakers fans' hopes and dreams died last week. They got
Oh
knocked out.
no.
Oh no, Lakers
All right.
fans sports.
R.I.P. Lakers fans. All right. Orphan Black, though. Who here watched Orphan Black?
Him.
Not
This guy, me, I did it. It was me. It's so good, y'all. I hope when She-Hulk comes out, y'all are like, yo, I gotta go back and watch Orphan Black, because that shit is great.
Well, we got more stuff coming.
Well, it's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Orphan Black Echoes, a 10-episode follow-up series written and executive produced by Anna Fishko. John Fawcett, who is the creator and executive producer of the first series, will return as an executive producer and a director for the series.
Beautiful. Everyone's coming back.
Yeah, this is wild. I'm surprised they're doing it, but like it's cool. I'm very curious how much of the ancillary materials will remain canon. I have to imagine that the audiobook podcast series will. I forget which one it's classified as, but because that had Maslany and everybody still reprising their roles and everything, so I'm like, that's gotta still be important canon.
Mm-hmm.
And those things were made post-show.
Mhm.
So there's like some comics and stuff that were like filling in a lot of story beats. So I hope that those details are still incorporated into where we're
I
going.
remember that there
Good
was
stuff.
a comic. I remember that there was a comic because of Loot Box.
Yeah, I believe there's 3. I've only read 2.
Yeah. It's going to follow. So this series will follow a group of young women in the near future who are seemingly drawn together as they each try to figure out the mystery surrounding their identity.
I love Moon Knight.
And we'll explore the theme of scientific manipulation of human existence, which I thought was a fun line, so I just had to write it.
So they're kind of like doing it again.
Yeah, sounds like. I haven't seen it, but yeah, sounded like that.
That's how it starts. Is it starts with like Maslany playing characters who suddenly realize that there's someone who looks just like her, and then realizing there's another someone who looks just like her,
It's
and then
happening.
and then like kind of putting together
Again.
because like when the show starts, like it's like, oh, is this my, because they were adopted.
Mhm.
And they all know that, so they're like, oh, I had a sister, but then it becomes something much more terrifying and dramatic.
Orphany.
No cast has been announced yet, so.
Cool. Yeah, I really like that show. It's a really solid show. Awesome opportunity for a new actor to take on what Maslany did with the original, playing multiple roles. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameo time for her, though.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lock and Key was announced to be ending with season 3.
I thought this had already happened, but I guess I was wrong.
I think we assumed, but I don't think it was ever officially stated.
It's a good call. I think better to go out just strong right now, especially like with the unfortunately low amount of buzz for season 2, even though it was like solid as shit.
At least it got 3.
I am glad that it has
Yeah.
3. Man, I want to tell you guys who the bad guy is in for season 3.
Bill
I will watch it.
Murray.
I just want to tell you who the actor is because they introduced him in season 2. And I'm
No,
like,
don't, because I'll watch it eventually.
man, you're gonna know. You're gonna know pretty quickly who it is.
Edward Nigma.
I'm so excited, guys.
Sherlock Holmes is getting 2 HBO Max scripted series, executive produced by Robert Downey Jr.
I don't believe it because it's been getting a third movie for like a decade.
I think that's what this is turning into. Because Robert's
I'm
not doing that movie.
I think Downey is looking at this as saying that movie's never happening. So and they have said that there is a possibility that he'll return as Sherlock Holmes for one of these shows. Rather than saying like he's not going to do this, it's still kind of being worked out if that's what the story is.
I don't believe you.
So wait, what's the story about if he's not coming back as Sherlock Holmes?
It would probably be about a side Sherlock Holmes character in Conan Doyle's. Well, remember there was that group of, you wouldn't know this, there's this group of kids that Sherlock Holmes uses to have like a network around town.
No, I know.
Well, they got a movie. They got a show. They had a show. We could do that again, but with this.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna watch that.
You see what I'm saying? They got a show. Why are we doing this? I just want one more movie, so it's a nice trilogy.
Me too.
Of the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes.
Or we extend it because Robert's not going to make a movie, and he's going to get.
Well, he's doing Parker. He's doing Parker.
Yeah.
So he's doing movies.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't want to do this movie.
I think he wants to do this movie, and that's what's happening. He's turning he knows he can get the show made, so he's moving into a show. It has
not been clear why a third movie has not been made, but
yeah. There was talk that they hired a director, the guy who directed Rocket Man.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, if he's not in it, I don't know what the point is.
I mean, truthfully, I don't particularly care if he's not in it. If it's not even connected to that franchise, I also agree with you. I want a third movie. But if he's doing one of these, I'll certainly tune in for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely cool Sherlock Holmes stuff out there.
Yeah.
If we're not going back to that world, I don't know why we're revisiting the pile. Like, there's plenty of other things. There's Enola Holmes out there.
I was literally about to say Enola Holmes is getting a sequel.
And honestly, Elementary.
Watson.
Yeah,
Watson.
What's happening to the new Enola Holmes movie?
Me too.
This is just for me. Star Trek Picard, the entire season 3. So season 3 is returning the entire Next Generation cast.
You were so happy on Twitter when this was announced.
I'm so excited. When I saw that, I
think this will probably take Ryan to Picard.
I mean, I love Next Generation, but like, how many more episodes does Picard have?
So we're finished. You got 4 episodes of season 2, and then season 3 will be 10. So 14.
Okay. So
it's just interesting that like the season's not even done, and like, wow, look who we're bringing back next season.
That was weird because so what happened this week? So there was Mission Chicago, which was kind of the big convention for Star Trek, and they showed a Lower Decks teaser. Looks great. But before that was First Contact Day, which is traditionally the day that Vulcans make first contact. Human race, who cares? In 2063. So April 5th, right? Yeah. So he decided to, and I mean like the showrunner, decided to release that news for First Contact Day. But at the time of the news release, you were only halfway done with Picard. Now you're over halfway done. So it was a weird time to be like, by the way, I know the season's not done yet, but really get excited for the next season.
Well, that's cool. At least like it's happening.
And we do know that all the actors know they're returning this time, right?
Yes.
This isn't like the Chris Pine Star Trek films.
No, this is all the actors posted on. They've filmed already.
I'm just being cheeky.
I know. I remember that, the Chris Pine thing. The dialogue there when I was watching that trailer. I saw that and I was watching the trailer and like I started hearing the dialogue and I'm like, this is new dialogue. This isn't recycled dialogue. Oh my god, they're back! And then like I just like tingles up my spine. I get so excited. I really like this season of Picard.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. And it's like pretty much almost everyone. I'm like, that is pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is the main cast.
Yeah.
Brent Spiner will not play Data, so I'm interested to know who he's going to play.
No, William Wheaton.
I don't know if that's true.
Doesn't seem like it. He doesn't seem like it. He doesn't seem to know.
I think they're playing cheeky.
with him.
The fandom, like once the thing was announced, like the fandom went crazy. Like, where's Will Wheaton? And so like Will Wheaton is a popular Star Trek character because he was the entry point for a lot of kids.
He's also the most annoying character for a lot of people.
Yeah. But there's a lot of revisionist history that happens in fandom. Look no further than the Star Wars fandom.
That's true.
So they won't admit it anymore.
Yeah.
I think he shows up because I think everyone that Picard has known in his life is showing up in this season because it's his last, and I'm pretty sure he's dying.
Yeah. He could be like a cameo. That makes sense.
Yeah. And these guys are like the main cast. Like we're doing Next Generation season 8 essentially.
Curious what the story reason is to bring back every single one of them.
Quite frankly, I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
Yeah.
The fact that the first episode had to shoot the first episode of Picard is like, so who are you gonna call, Geordi, Riker, whatever? And he's like, no, they'll come, they'll do whatever I ask them to, but I can't do that. And I'm like,
Yes,
really?
We don't have the budget for it yet.
Exactly, and like now they do. So, I like the main cast of Picard too. So I hope that they don't get sidelined for this, even though I'm excited for this. Comic books.
I like them.
I bought some today. Makes me happy.
Do we want to talk about webtoons?
Yes.
Sure.
This is great.
I enjoy webtoons. Webtoons is awesome.
DC has announced their next 3 webtoons comics.
All right.
Vixen, New York City, Red Hood Outlaws, and Satana and the Ripper. I have details of all of these if you guys want me to read them.
No.
Okay.
I just think that's great. Specifically because we're going to get like the first great Red Hood book in like 15 years.
Yeah. I don't know where he is right now. Oh, Robbins.
1/5 of a good book.
Wait, who's been writing Red Hood for years?
Well, the Scott Lobdell. He wrote it.
For a decade.
That's the name I was looking for.
The Zatanna and the Ripper one sounds really interesting. So it's Zatanna going back to 1800 with John Constantine to fight Jack the Ripper.
That one is awesome. I love, like, I'm not caught up, but that Batman Wayne Adventures book is just so charming and fun, and like that DC is just allowing this. Red Hood is I did not expect this to be such a choice, such an early choice, because like Red Hood is like, he's the guy who kills people, like that's what people know him as, right? So that he's getting his own book is like, man, like they can do anything on webtoons. Like I think that's fantastic. It's just good. It's just good for comic readers, and it's free. It's all free.
Good potential.
Yeah. Any release dates yet or no?
Vixen is out in May, and then they'll roll out throughout the summer.
I'm happy that Vixen's getting a little more love.
Yeah,
because I honestly expected more comic Vixen love when they were like making the push with the Arrowverse, and then it just kind of dwindled out and died in Legends of Tomorrow. Unfortunately, Legends is where you get the most Vixen play, 100%, and it was great. And I'm glad.
It's not even the same Vixen,
huh?
It's not even the same Vixen.
No, it's her ancestor. Yeah, but it's still cool.
Moving on to Superman Space Age. This is from Mark Russell and Mike Allred. It's going to be a 3-issue prestige series, so $10 issues. This is going to start in the Space Age. What's commonly known as the Space Age. Superman reveals himself to the world, and then we go on from there, decade by decade.
60s, everybody.
So Superman life story.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's life story. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
down.
Mark Russell is the guy who did that for Marvel. So like, why not just do it?
For sure.
So, he's doing the Fantastic Four one.
Yep.
Well, the Fantastic Four life story hasn't come out yet, right?
No,
not in trade. Not in trade, single issues.
Yeah, I bought it.
I mean, I have Marvel Unlimited, but also
wait for the trade.
All right. I have Marvel Unlimited.
3 of them are on Marvel Unlimited right now, Ben, because it's a 3-month cycle. It just recently finished.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Superman Space Age because we all read Spider-Man life story for the book club. I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four, and if we got something like this, I kind of really like seeing when them taking Superman back in time, kind of like what Gene Yang did for Superman Smashes the Klan.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, Mike Allred is such an insane artist. Like he's visually like pops. Like he did one of the only really great Dan Slott books, so his Silver Surfer run. Like very vibrant, like mad colors, and Superman's not a character that he traditionally gets to draw. So it's really cool. And like this prestige format, just like it's not Black Label, but like you can just do whatever you want with this character. So it's like I'm very excited for this. It's going to be a goofy looking Superman. I'm really excited.
Mark Russell has done some of the best comics modern day. The Flintstones, Snagglepuss. So like, yeah, totally down for this.
He drew that Snagglepuss book?
He
He
wrote.
wrote it.
Oh, he wrote the Snagglepuss book.
Mike Allred. If you're thinking about Mike Allred, he's the artist. Mark Russell is the writer.
That's such a good Snagglepuss book.
It's true. All of it.
Okay. This happened on Saturday. But Brie Larson has been announced to have joined Fast 10. Your seatbelts.
Yeah, she's joining. We didn't really talk about it, but like I think we did like briefly. But Daniela Melchior, Ratcatcher 2 from the Suicide Squad, also there with Jason Momoa as the other new cast member.
The villain.
Man, great cast.
Very excited.
I'm so happy for her, having rewatched the Suicide Squad recently. I'm like, man, she's so good. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
good.
I'm really excited for Daniela Melchior, but yeah, Brie Larson is great. I love her. I'm super excited to see her in this franchise as definitely Brian's sister.
You think?
Yeah.
I believe it. I make that bet too.
Interesting call.
I understand the lore implications and everything, but I feel like she might just be like a cool lady. I think this late into the series, I don't know.
I think at this point,
Because it's the brother thing with the last movie.
right? I think what Vin Diesel thinks he needs to do is he's trying to fill that hole that Paul Walker has left him, and he just keeps putting in characters into that hole until there's just more characters.
Well, and nobody said John Cena's in Fast 10, but he's in Fast 10.
Yes, that's true.
He's in these last movies. Like, he's back for sure.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see Brie Larson in this. She's the third Oscar winner to be in this franchise.
Hell yeah.
There's only three.
Wow.
There's only 3 Oscar winners in this franchise.
Wow.
Cool.
Who are the other 2? Charlize Theron
Okay.
and Helen Mirren.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Interestingly,
Jason Statham doesn't have an Oscar.
Look at those ladies go.
I did not know that Kurt Russell did not have an Oscar.
Oh, not yet. Never told you.
Yeah, so yeah, all the 3 ladies that were added.
Ooh, I hope we get Kurt Russell back.
Mr.
Me
Nobody.
too.
I thought he died.
No, his plane went down. We never saw a body.
No, he died. Didn't he? Oh, wait. No, he didn't die.
His plane went down. We never saw a body.
Okay, all right.
There was no body there.
What's the next story, Brandon?
I assume he's not dead. Look, like
we didn't see a body. No, you're right.
Look. We saw
Han's
a body.
alive-
We saw Han's body, and
Yeah,
he's alive.
it's
So
true.
anybody can be back.
Also, doesn't he have like a little shtick that every time Mr. Nobody is in a movie, something happens and we never see him for the rest of the film, but he just pops back up in the next movie like everything's fine? Like,
Yes.
I still want Little Nobody back too.
Oh, Scott Speedman.
Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood.
That was another Brian replacement. So every movie he's been trying to replace Brian.
Can't fill that Brian hole.
I mean, John Cena fits the like thematic purpose of what Brian is for him pretty well. I think they should just keep that and then do other things.
Yeah. Either way, that's really exciting. Very
Tasteful ending. F9. Good job on the Brian
yeah.
car appearance.
I am surprised at how excited I am to see Brie Larson behind the wheel of a car.
Oh, baby.
She don't kill it.
Oh,
I'm excited to watch Brie Larson and Danielle Melchior kick Jason Momoa's butt.
Oh my god.
I mean, she has been doing those Nissan commercials, so maybe that's
know the kind of shot I mean, though.
Yeah.
There's the specific John Cho Fast and Furious shot that I'm like, I can't wait to see that, but with Brie Larson. Okay, trailers.
Oh,
Yeah, short news week.
Roar.
Yeah, this looks great.
I like anthologies when I watch them.
Sparks, you really liked Glow.
I loved Glow. Don't
Same
undersell
guys.
it. Great show. I saw. Yeah, real happy about it. 2 of the lead ladies from Glow are in here. This looks awesome. I'm happy for this. This looks really cool and inventive. I like it.
And it's a genre show about like, what if a woman was put on a pedestal and like her husband literally like puts her on a pedestal, or like what was the other one? What's some other?
Wasn't that Daniel Day Kim?
There's a lot of people.
There's the one where like she can't say anything in the spaces of men, even though like she's wanting to.
They're like, it's almost like a Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
but like centered on like
female appearances and like definitely like thematic representations of how women are treated in our society.
it's very stylish.
Man, guys, Glow is so good.
Gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
I want people to go watch Glow. It's so fantastic. real happy that they're getting something like this off the ground is great. We still should have gotten season 4 of Glow. We were robbed. But here we are. This looks cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Apple, for picking this up.
Apple, they're killing it recently. I'm gonna have to watch something eventually.
Crush.
I was surprised you put this on here just because I didn't think it really.
It didn't. I went back and forth a lot with it, but I wanted to put it on because Rowena Blanchard from Girl Meets World. Rowan Blanchard. From Girl Meets World.
I really enjoy her. I'm stoked that she's doing this. She's very good. I figured like we can talk about Moxie. We can talk about this. This looks very good. It's also Ali Cavajo, the voice of Moana, is the other main girl.
Right.
Oh.
This looks really cool. I also told Ryan that I just learned today that Rowan Blanchard is apparently in Snowpiercer. Because I saw a picture of her in season 3, and I'm like, oh,
season 3.
Dang, gotta watch some Snowpiercer, guys.
I know. Every season that passes, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch that show.
Yeah. This looks really cool. This looks really thoughtful and well made, and I'm glad that Disney is still allowing Hulu to be a space where this storytelling can happen.
Yeah. I was really surprised because I have not seen Rowan Blanchard since Girl Meets World, and like I like that show. She's not very good in it, but that does kind of fit the show and her father. So like, you looked at me funny, Sparks. You tripped me up.
I just didn't think that she was not good in that. She's not as good as Sabrina Carpenter. I'll grant you that.
Yeah, I'll take that one. But she looked really good. Her acting was really good in this trailer. I was really impressed because the last time I saw her was Wrinkle in Time. She's the bully in that.
That's right.
God, I forgot all about that.
Years ago, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah. I saw everyone's face go back to the past.
I think of Big Oprah. That's all I think about that movie, Big Oprah.
And Mindy Kaling talking in quotes.
Nope, I don't believe you.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see this because the sister from Love Victor is one of the other girls.
Oh, cool.
She's cool.
It does seem like a charming young adult show, yeah.
And queer focus, which is great.
Absolutely.
Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Hold up. Before I gotta get something off my chest real quick. The second I saw the A24 logo, my brain instantly went, okay, how are they going to take this adorable, cute-looking shell with an eyeball and shoes and turn it into something horrific, eldritch horror? What are they going to do?
100%.
And then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, this is the most wholesome crap I've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah. Are you not familiar with Marcella Shell?
No, I am. No.
Okay.
No, it's A24's first attempt at what if we didn't do something that scarred people?
Yes, exactly.
It's their first family thing, I think.
It's not their first
attempt,
but I hear you.
They don't if you look at their filmography, it is less than normal.
Sure.
I know, every A24 film I have seen or I'm going to see is either some bomb. It's okay. Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's on my docket to watch next weekend. It looks absolutely crazy and bonkers. I have seen Midsommar. I have seen The Vitch. The Vitch is A24, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen the Vitch.
Lighthouse. Oh, you didn't see Lighthouse.
Wait, I saw Lighthouse.
No, I haven't seen Lighthouse. But every A24 film we've seen, just like. It just gives me growth.
You more than most have been turned to a specific direction of A24.
Uncut Gems. That's another one. Great film. Amazing film.
It's important to remember that A24 is more distributor than studio.
Yes.
So this is something where they picked this up out of interest in pushing it forward. But this is Megan brought this to my attention because she was sharing that Marcella Shell was at a red carpet for SXSW, and I thought, is this I didn't know there was a movie, and I was like, is this like a weird tie-in to Everything Everywhere All at Once? Because I saw that it was A24 posting about it, and I'm like, is this a weird tie-in for that because of the googly eye thing? And then she was like, no, they're making the movie, and I was like, it's super wholesome, it's super sweet, really like it, just like It's gonna give you the feel good feelies.
What if a little
that's real
shell,
nice.
a little shell tried to find its family?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like a journey.
I don't really remember when I last saw them. It's just every time that it goes by, my heart gets a little heavier. So Dan, do you know how long it's been? About 2 years. Oh, well, that's nice to know.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that all day. It's very funny.
Just utterly delightful.
Yeah, I was just so happy to finally. Once again, I know they're, like you said, they're more distributor than they are studio, but I see the A24 logo. My mind goes to a certain place, but just to watch
the trailers that we discuss on this podcast, I don't know if we've ever discussed a not freaky A24 movie. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Ben, it's totally valid that every time you see A24 pop up, your butthole clenches, and that's fine. But yeah, this looks very sweet, very wholesome. If you have any interest in Marcel the Shell and you're not familiar, there's plenty of stuff on YouTube you can check out.
I will probably check that out because I assume we're probably going to see this movie.
Jenny Slate sounds just so adorable.
I mean, we might not review it, but you could certainly go see it.
I
have never heard of Marcel the Shell. So this was kind of a surprise for me. But this looked very great. I'm kind of in the same vein as like Paddington, kind of that feel good, wholesome movie.
You would like spending a little bit of a YouTube dive in their short videos, so you could just be like, I'm just gonna feel good right now.
3 minutes.
Marcel the Shell.
Feel good.
Can I pop up Grayson's comment real quick?
Sure.
He says A24 pops up and I have to hide under the covers.
The Northman coming soon.
Yeah. Ben's butthole punches. We got it.
I never thought that they were like hide under the covers scary. I always felt that the trailers were kind of just more uncomfortable scary.
Sure.
But like more like vibe scary, less like Friday the 13th scary.
Right, until the images from those trailers show up in the middle of the night in your room, in your mind.
Babadook.
Yeah, that's what they do best.
Right.
Seeing a body flayed out with.
We just talked. To be fair, we did like last week. We talked about Men, which is also A24.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Big smiles.
Clench.
Okay. The Bob's Burgers movie.
Yeah, man, I love that show, and it just looks like, well, what if we made like 3 episodes at once? Like,
what if he made an expensive version of the show?
Yeah,
cool.
Like for The Simpsons,
100%. And I'm thinking like they haven't made a lot of like. There's a lot of Futurama straight to DVD movies that I've watched, but like besides The Simpsons, like I'm surprised Family Guy never got one. That's like super surprising to me.
I mean, like it was in development for forever, and then just like canned. And it wasn't just Family Guy. It was another one of the Fox shows also had it. Not one of the McFarlane ones, but a different one.
Yeah.
Had a like film deal that never went through. Adventure Time. Famously was supposed to have a theatrical film that never went through. It's really weird where like some of these just never make it across the pond into the theatrical.
And like this movie,
plane.
It even reminded me like almost like the plot. It kind of reminds me of the Simpsons movie a little bit. Which is fine. It looks like a good vehicle of like, here's these characters, here's the family dealing with it, like in the ways that they deal with it, and like them coming together as they always do. And it's like it's gonna be wholesome fun.
The Simpsons movie did well enough that I was shocked we didn't get more of that, especially from the Fox crowd, especially with them talking about like doing it with Family Guy, doing it with I'm pretty sure Futurama was shopped around at one point, doing it with now Bob's Burgers is I'm just kind of surprised Bob's Burgers is the one
I am too.
that came all the way through, but like good for them.
Yeah, I was always surprised that Family Guy one didn't go through.
Because it's so like I think it's still popular. Like less than The Simpsons, but like it's still on.
Yeah.
You bring that up and I'm like, man, I have no gauge about how popular Family Guy is because like I don't see anybody like resharing anything about it or anything. Like,
dude, I don't
know who's
there
still
are
watching
literally
it.
like 100 shows that are like the most popular shows on the world that like we have it's just out of our NCIS. Like those type of shows, like they have their audiences. They're all 30 years older than us.
Well, that's the thing is like I truly wonder if Family Guy's audience like
grew
with them.
Yeah,
and I don't think that like anybody newer has ever come to the Family Guy pool.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right.
That was fun.
I like Bob's Burgers a lot. So
that's good.
It's good.
I haven't watched it.
I wish we did. But it's also like 15 seasons, so
yeah. I haven't seen the latest season. I think at this point,
I'm not against it, but I'm like the thing. Honestly, right now when I look at it, is like I'm weighing like a long form comedy series I haven't dived into, like long running, and I'm like it's Bob's Burgers or Always Sunny, and I'm probably gonna go Always Sunny.
I would tell you to pick Always Sunny too because that is my favorite TV show of all time, next to Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I wonder if this doing successful will get that Family Guy movie or whatever movie.
I think
how well it'll do.
I think Family Guy. That was why I kind of like. I think Family Guy is like as dead as it's going to be because I don't think it gets the numbers of attention to think it would do that well in theaters. I do think it's like maintaining an audience, but like maintaining, not growing.
What's Fox's streaming service? What do they
Disney
have
Plus?
Okay, I was gonna say, would they do like a Disney Plus Family Guy movie?
No, because Disney doesn't want to take. That's one of the things where like Fox Television kept that.
Yeah.
And it didn't go to Disney.
I think it's on Disney Plus in other countries.
Family Guy?
Sure. Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't live in other countries, so neither do I.
Oh, Hulu. I'm thinking like they can like Hulu, like put it on Hulu.
Would do it.
Yeah, because I think Bob's Burgers has not a hybrid release, but I think it's got a short theatrical window.
There's it wouldn't shock me to see a Family Guy movie on Hulu, but like a theatrical movie, that's bigger. Like that's a bigger investment, bigger money.
And I don't think Seth MacFarlane wants to do that at all.
No, he didn't. He wishes Family Guy was dead.
Oh yeah, he's like in like some.
He's wanted to cancel.
He's in some like terrible contract, but he's so rich. Like, oh my god.
Well, he leveraged the Orville. He was like, okay, you give me the Orville though.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to say about. Oh yeah. Did you see the tweet after the first trailer dropped where it was just like TV animation, movie animation, and it's just the same picture just with the shadow line?
Yeah, like the gloss.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay, Return to Monkey Island.
Ben, we haven't played these games because these are point-and-click adventures from the early times.
We have not, but Monkey Island is one of those games that that people have said if you only get to play one point-and-click adventure, make sure it's Monkey Island because people say it is amazing and the bee's knees. And the creator said he was never going to make another one unless something happened, but apparently that something happened because he's
it's incredible.
More specifically, he said if I ever make one, I'm going to announce it on April Fool's Day and nobody's going to believe me.
Yep.
What did he do?
And everyone believed him.
The great thing is so Ron Gilbert made Monkey Island 1 and 2, and then he left, and then they made a bunch of others after, and people like those other games, but they say they're not as good. He 10 years ago made a blog post saying, I will never make another Monkey Island, and here's every single reason why, and if I ever come back, here's everything that will need to happen. And then if you watch the trailer, they make fun of that in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, it's always great when a creator gets to come back to the thing that they made and like do something new with it. It is a sequel to Monkey Island 2, so he's ignoring the other games, which is in tie with everything that happens nowadays, which is really fun and cool. I probably won't play it, but like it's just I'm always happy that like the fans won. Like if you like this franchise,
love point and click adventures, and I did play Monkey Island.
Nice.
But I never got around to 2. But now I'm motivated.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the island.
I lie. I've played 1, and it was Broken Age, which is a Double Fine Elijah Wood game about a girl who lives in the past and a boy who lives in the future and how their lives coincide. Really cool. It's the only one I played.
Can be pretty cool. I've dug a lot of them.
Yeah, I just don't have the patience for them.
I never really played point and click adventures. Some of them have looked really interesting. Like there's this point and click called Siberia that I've seen clips for thanks to XPlay that looked really, really good. And there's also
King's
Misc.
Quest is great.
Telltale games, they are the natural evolution of point and click adventures.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because that is you as a character moving around exploring stuff. Like the actual point and clicking I find kind of just boring. Yeah.
Point and click like was something that came to me pretty early on because I was like pretty much my first game experience was because like my parents got me like the educational kind of game. So like Pajama Sam, that was my shit. I had a lot of Pajama Sam, and Pajama Sam was point and click. So that's kind of thing. I'll always love you, Pajama Sam.
Yo,
you're the real one.
Putt and Jumpstart for Kids. That was
Putt. Yeah.
Jumpstart for Kids. Okay, yeah. Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, Jumpstart for Kids. I remember just getting the second grade one and going to the and listening to the same song on the jukebox over and over again.
Memories.
Those were the days.
Interesting to see. Actually, it's not interesting. It's good to see Lucasfilm Games branching out, not just doing Star Wars. We got the Indiana Jones game coming soon. Not for sure. Soon.
Quick little side note. There's another famous Lucasfilm point click thing that a lot of people say that needs a comeback, and that's Grim Fandango.
Well, it did have a remaster like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
True. But if this does well, maybe it's
in the longevity of our lives, Grim Fandango will come back.
Yeah.
Everything does.
Yep.
This is our Kingdom Hearts triptych.
Yeah, we don't need to spend too much time on the first two.
No, we don't.
They're the mobile games. One of them is coming to an end after a long, long time. It's telling the end of its story. And now the other one is like filling the gap between that and the rest of Kingdom Hearts. So like cool. Yeah. That one like really didn't look super appealing to me personally.
The first two are probably going to get like some form of CGI thing later down the line, so I'm not really focused about that one. But the thing I was going to say is that it's always great when I wake up and to see a text message from like what Spark said in our group thread is like, man, what a fucking weekend for Ben, huh?
Yeah.
Not felt this much joy since Sora was announced for Smash.
Well, Ben, we should probably say why, because at this point, the audience probably thinks you're talking about these mobile games.
No, screw the mobile games. Kingdom Hearts 4. Official. It's coming.
So I was talking to Sparks in the morning. It took like 12 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out.
We're probably not seeing it for 5+ years.
No. If they are showing not just CGI, they showed gameplay. Mm-hmm. That means this game has been actually worked on. Mm-hmm. It's not coming out in 10 years. It's probably coming out in 2 to 3 years. That's really exciting. That makes me want to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and finish it because I played an hour and I was like,
and then it looks like it's using the Unreal Engine.
And so here's the even crazier thing: it is using Unreal Engine 4. The actual game will be using Unreal Engine 5, so it'll look even better than it looks in this trailer. And this trailer looked even good. So. Yeah. It's a good week, Ben. Good for you.
Fanny texted me when she was on break at work, because she says, "Babe, Kingdom Hearts 4." I'm like, "Oh, I know, I saw it." And when she came home, we started talking about the trailer. She was like, "It looks so real. It looks completely real." And I'm like, "That it does look really good." Like that new version of Darkseid, that giant Heartless we see Sora fight in the beginning of the game. It looks so good, and it's still like the action and the animation are like this is Kingdom Hearts style combat that we've grown to know and love. So. I am just so excited. I also kind of like the new font for the logo. It actually looked really, really cool. And I'm glad they kept with the Roman numerals, like with Final Fantasy.
It definitely looks so much more. And there's like story reasons. Mm-hmm. And actually now that, because I talked to you in the morning and then going on Twitter, it actually kind of makes sense. When you go to other worlds, you look different in those worlds in Kingdom Hearts. So there's a reason Sora looks like a mother effing like Final Fantasy character.
Right.
There's a reason he doesn't look like anime Sora. So like I see a lot of people like freaking out saying like, "Oh no, is this modern Kingdom Hearts? Are they ruined?" Like, guys, give me a break. Settle down.
It's weird. It's weird that they would say that because at the end of this trailer is Donald and Goofy, and they look like they did, just nicer.
Yeah. It's just really cool that like the realism stuff is interesting because that means that there's probably going to be like Star Wars and Marvel stuff.
It's the thing Ben and I have been like curious about what they were going to do with it ever since the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, because you see Sora in essentially Tokyo and we were like, what the F does this mean for the future?
He's in the Shibuya crossing and it's like you see the dude and you see the dude in the cape. It's like
it's basically the beginning of this trailer, right?
Yeah.
It's cool. I think it just means a wider swath of what will be you're right. A wider swath of what will be brought to the table for Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah. Certainly the two of the most popular franchises in the world, Marvel and Star Wars, are realistically on the table. So it'll be really interesting. It's wild. I think that
it's unexpected. Like truly, I did not expect it this soon. Like it's like 3 years is from like when the last game came out, but
technically no. Melody and Memory came out in 2019, I think. Oh, actually, that was 3 years ago. Never mind.
Nomura kind of made like a promise that when he was talking about the future of Kingdom Hearts, that like they were going to focus on the next big actual main title game, not a bunch of spin-offs for the consoles. And everybody kind of went, okay, but
12 years
you're
later.
Tetsuya Nomura. Everybody knows you say, I'm only going to do one spin-off and then do 6. Yeah. So it's not too surprising if they actually held to that we're going to get an actual main console game again, because the team has just stayed dedicated to that, which is really great.
Mm-hmm. One of the talking about the gameplay that we saw, one of the mechanics I'm actually really interested in working on is Sora's using the chain on the Keyblade to like a grapple, essentially. Yep. Or like
everybody's grappling these days.
Like the hook shot from the Zelda games. And I actually kind of dig that quite a bit.
So give me a little context. What's that thing?
What thing?
What's
the dude? What's the big dude?
Oh, that's
like a classic. That's a classic Heartless.
Because that thing's in one of the mobile game trailers we watched.
That thing's in every Kingdom Hearts game.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's like the first big boss you ever fight.
Yeah, Dark. That giant monster is called Darkseid, and you fight him in every single Kingdom Hearts game. Like every main title game, there's a Darkseid variant there somewhere.
Xehanort.
Grayson's latest comment. Just the last one, please.
Yeah, he's freaking out. He also says, "Thank you, Ryan." But 4 is supposed to be the beginning of a new saga, right? I thought that's what Nomura said a while back. Yes.
So yes, 4 will be the start of the. I have it here. The Lost Master arc.
They gotta find him.
Which, if you play, I want to talk about.
Which really, all it means is we're not fighting Xehanort because he's dead.
Xehanort,
like dead.
That's all it means because you kill him at the end of 3. Like it's just. We're on a new thing. It's no longer his plan.
It's a new saga.
But it's also grander because it's tying into the stuff that happened years before Kingdom Hearts 1, and you're like, all right.
That blonde girl in the trailer, she's like from like one of the mobile games or something, right? Like that's what I saw online. Ben. I
don't know. I haven't really paid attention to the mobile games.
I trust nerds on Twitter. It's the girl from a mobile game, which is cool because like when they're all Kingdom Hearts is cool because all the lore matters. Like even if you don't play like a mobile game from 10 years ago, it matters, and that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4 though.
I do own those games. Maybe.
Is it time? Is it time?
I will get through Halo and then one more thing. And then maybe. We'll see.
I mean,
it could happen.
I mean, luckily, Kingdom Hearts, the first main Kingdom Hearts game is pretty quick to play through. But also, this just means I need to play through Melody of Memory because I have Melody of Memory. I haven't played it yet.
Is that the dancing game?
I still haven't played the Remind.
Neither have I. I'm a cheapskate to buy that 25 because the cheapest I've seen it was $25. And I'm like,
I wonder.
That's the DLC sequel, right?
Yeah, the DLC for 3. Yes.
I wonder if I don't think Game Pass has a DLC.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. But Brandon, Melody of Memory is the rhythm game that takes place after.
I know. I remember. Rhythm. I remember you guys. I remember watching that trailer and you and Sparks going like, and then they did the thing at the end of the trailer because you guys are so like, really.
Nomura's going back up.
That made it canon because like it just looked like a fun little musical melody thing of like the Kingdom Hearts games, and then it was like not canon.
Yep, that's the Kingdom Hearts pain train. But you know what? Nomura put stuff out like 4, and it's like I dive right. No pun intended for Dream Drop Distance, but I dive right back in.
I for one am greatly looking forward to year after year Bennett saying one of his most anticipated things is Kingdom Hearts 4, and year after year it getting pushed back. I'm so hyped for this.
Ben, I just need you to know that game's not coming out next year. I need you to know this.
Did you guys not hear me when I said we're probably not going to see that game for another 5 years?
I'm just saying I don't want you to get Breath of the Wild.
I understand.
We'll get season 2 of we'll get season 2 of Arcane before we get Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh God, I hope not.
Ben saying fool me 5 times, shame on me.
I understand there have been times where I've said they're going to keep the release date. I've been burned before. I've learned my damn lesson. I will wait. When they say the second they announce their first release date, I'm not going to believe it.
I don't believe you, Nomura.
Shut up, all of you. I'm talking now.
I don't believe you.
I'm going to be like, I hope you make it, but I'm not going to be upset when they don't make it because $20 right now, they're probably not going to make their first release date because a lot of games, Final Fantasy, Breath of the Wild 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, they keep getting pushed back because they got to polish it, they got to fix it. And what happens when they do take the time to fix it? It becomes gorgeous and it's beautiful and no one hates it upon launch. Fallout 76 and Cyberpunk 2077, that's okay. I will wait, and I'm not going to be like, it's coming out. I know it's going to happen eventually, but I'm going to wait. I'm not going to be freaking out saying, oh man, OMG, it's going to happen next year. I'm not going to do that.
I think we broke him.
I'm going to amend to say that I'm now very much looking forward to being 1 month out and then being like, I don't believe them.
He's driving to the store. I don't know about this, man.
I'm going to go here.
I go to GameStop. I put in my pre-order. And I'm still driving home. I was like, I still don't believe them.
The bag.
You're gonna have it in you're gonna put the disc in the thing, and you'd be like, I don't believe you. This is not the real. This is not it. It's not it.
I'm pretty sure that once I actually get my
case at home, it's not there. It's empty, and he's like, I knew it.
I knew it.
God damn.
But yes. Oh, hold up, Grayson, real quick. He says, "Don't you put that curse on a Sparks. I'm gonna cry and just be so hurt."
Baby, that's the Nomura curse.
Late 2024. 4.
They-
Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to get announced to be 1 year out from release, and then Nomura is going to say, wait, we got to slow down. I got to focus on Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
Is he? Oh, no.
As far as I know.
Oh, shit.
This would not be the first time that they showed us gameplay and then said, no, we're going to push it a couple of years.
Oh, yeah. No, but I feel like they learned their lesson after 3.
But I just want to ask, does this actually come out on the PlayStation 5, guys?
Yeah.
Or does this come out on the PlayStation 6?
No. They're not only is it going to come out on PlayStation 5, they were going to do a PlayStation 5 Pro in the interim, as they've been doing the last couple of countries.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah. So
I just wanted to ask because Kingdom Hearts 3 went from the PS3 to the PS4.
It's true. No, we will. It will not take 10 years.
Yeah.
I believe it. I have to believe.
Not only that, the PlayStation 3, they were claiming that they were working on Kingdom Hearts 3, but there was no official announcement until even long after the PS4 came out, too. We didn't get the first shot of Sora holding Master Ericus's Keyblade until like halfway through the PS4's blade life cycle.
Bloody Keyblades. Can't wait for the lightsaber Keyblade that we're all going to end up buying.
There is a Keyblade that's going to be on sale where there's a light at the end of it where it has the keyhole, and if it's depending on how big it is, I'm probably going to buy it.
Yeah, keyholes.
Like if it's a life size, you hold the Keyblade and you point it and you can turn the light on. It's like, oh, I'm buying that shit. I don't care.
Listen, just like because I initially when I think of Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, do I want Star Wars in there? No, but then I see the realistic stuff, and then somebody made the great point on Twitter was like, Star Wars is all about light and darkness, and like Luke trying to get away from the darkness of his father. And what is Kingdom Hearts if not that thing?
Right.
So like having you and like Luke fight Vader, but it's like Keyblade shit. I'm like, oh, actually that rips. Oh, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm one. I've won over. I've won.
All right, one
Star
thing.
Wars is begging for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah.
One more thing from Grayson. Disc goes in and the game takes 3 hours to install, and it's just an announcement that says, please wait a bit longer.
It's the day one patch. That's 25 gigs.
Or it's when you first put in Kingdom Hearts 3, you start it and it says Kingdom Hearts 2.9 just to fuck with you.
Or and this is the last thing I'll say about it, it'll be previously on Kingdom Hearts, and it's 7 hours of everything that happened before, and you're asleep when the game starts.
And then every time you put in the disc, you got to go through it again so they don't know that the full game is there.
It's the worst cutscene ever. There's so many lore videos and so many videos of people poking fun about the Kingdom Hearts games. It's not unwarranted too. It 100% is. You guys know I love this series with all my heart, literally. And I mean, the fact that we're getting 4 that was even announced and it's a for sure thing that's it's being worked on. It's gonna pop into existence eventually.
It's surprising. The fact that they showed this much stuff, like they didn't even have to show what the gameplay looked like. No, if they wanted to do, it's coming in 3 to 4 years.
Seeing gameplay really put me in. Oh,
yeah, like 2-3 years. I'm like, all right, that's. Yeah, I believe.
I was excited. It looks gorgeous. It's gonna look absolutely stunning on the PS5. I'm in. It's
gonna look even better.
It just gives me more time to play through my backlog and maybe replay a few Kingdom Hearts games here and there. Why not? Yep.
No, I did my replay for 3. This is the start of a new saga. I'm cool. I don't need to go back again. I will play the DLC at some point before this.
Marathoning for the Infinity Saga versus marathoning for whatever's next. Just like I'm not going all the way back.
I'm not going back to Kingdom Hearts, man.
Emma is like screaming.
I can't move without her going, "No, you bitch."
Do you need to go?
No, she's in a mood.
Oh. Right. Shall we get into our main topic then?
Yeah.
Gotta go eat.
Time now to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Full spoilers. You guys by now should know the drill. For every review, full spoilers. We're going to spoil the shit out of it. You can leave, you can stay, do whatever, skip ahead, whatever. Yeah. Who cares? Sonic the Hedgehog 2. What do we think about this?
I think it's a really, really, really fun movie. Mm-hmm. Definitely one of the best video game movies ever made. Mm-hmm. I have some problems with it, but it's because I'm not a Sonic fan, so I was just looking at it as a movie. And it's definitely a kid's movie, and that's not a bad thing. But there's some stuff where I'm just like, oh, I don't think that joke's funny at all. Oh, wow, kids are hilarious, I guess. I had a really good time. I don't care about Sonic. I watched a lore video on Sonic today. That's where I'm at in my life.
I'll wait. I want the Sonic Bros to go at last. Actually,
I would echo everything Ryan said pretty much, except to also say that for Sonic fans, we are eating it up.
Chili dogs all day.
But I also agree. Like, there's some stuff that doesn't land, but like overall, this is such a success.
I really liked this. I thought this was really great. I had a lot of fun. I thought it was very funny. Yeah, can't wait to talk about it. Ben, why don't you?
It's no secret.
Why don't you gush?
Oh yeah, let me gush. It's absolutely no secret that I absolutely love this movie. I am so happy of all the success it's been. I'm just happy it's good. I watched a few review videos, non-spoiler review videos on IGN, and I saw a few reviews. It is a kids movie. There are some problems with it, but I'm just so high on how much I loved this movie that I don't really see the flaws. And I will talk to you guys. And I'll probably like tone it down a little bit. But other than that, it was so good. It was so much fun. And I'm just so happy that just like the games, the first game, it set a standard. It was good. The second one blew it out of the water and said, no, this is the first one you want people to play now. Screw that. Maybe this is a little too mean, but screw the first one. Go to Sonic 2. That was 10 times better.
Yeah.
I
think of everything that I liked about Sonic 1, and this movie does everything better.
Yeah.
It knows exactly what it wants to be. Like, man, like I think of all of Jim Carrey's movies that he's ever made, this might be the most unhinged Jim Carrey's ever been. Truly. Like, the entire movie, I feel like there wasn't even a script. They're like, Jim, just come and do what you want. Because, like, he's just having so much fun. But also, like, there are times when he is, like, getting scary or getting, like, even just a little bit emotional before reverting back to, like the character. And I'm like, he said he's retiring, but I really hope he comes back for one last movie because, like, without him, I think this franchise would be lesser. Like, I still think it's good, but like, he brings such an energy. Him and Stone. Like, I didn't realize how much I valued Stone as a side character.
Yeah, people were talking about. I heard outside of our theater when we were waiting, the one person said, if Jim Carrey doesn't come back, they have Stone as they could be the next Robotnik. I'm like, I like him, but Jim Carrey is irreplaceable. And you're right. There is something he's doing differently with his kookiness that's making it unhingedly scary. Like, he is seconds away from cracking, or he's already cracked.
Mm-hmm. Specifically, like when he's like in his like Emperor God mode.
Yeah,
he's just floating around.
Oh, yeah. He was allowed to play like absolutely lost his mind because he'd been on that mushroom planet, so he can just be completely gone.
Mushroom
like,
coffee.
He is Sonic obsessed, and he has nothing else that he's like really striving for anymore. And it's like beat Sonic, ultimate power, enslave humanity, and make robots. That's it.
Yeah,
and like he's just wild.
That's the thing. That's Eggman, though. That's Robotnik in all the other games. He's like, beat Sonic and slave the world. I rule it, the whole thing. That's his MO since the very beginning.
Right.
And he nails it so well. And I mean, I was probably one of those people. I mean, I agree. That's like, yeah, if Jim Carrey is like done, he doesn't come back for Sonic 3, we have Stone. But I also agree, Jim Carrey as Robotnik just sets such a standard that I never thought I would see in a film before, especially for one of for the villain I've known almost my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a scene, and it's a facial gag, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna act it out for the audience, for the listeners. But there's a bit where he's like catching something that's been thrown. The compass. They throw the compass. Sonic throws the compass to Tails, and Robotnik, like, this time slows down. He slowly comes into frame with the goofiest face as he catches the compass. Yeah. It goes out of frame. Very funny.
Very good.
The strength of this movie, I think it is a good. I think it's got a good message. I think all like the family values and like the friendship values are really good. Like, that's like what Sonic's about.
I think the core of it, like, especially building, like, this movie does a good job of building off the foundation of the first one, using its human characters to its advantage where it can. The story of them feeling like it's kind of a shame that Sonic is all alone, because that's still carrying from the first movie's point. Sonic was all alone, and now he's got these parental figures who have adopted him, but they're still like, yeah, but he doesn't have friends.
He needs friends, yeah.
Like, he's got us, but he doesn't have like a social circle, and he needs a social circle. And enter Tails and Knuckles, and that makes perfect sense. And like it really, really works, and it does make the first film like work as foundational text for it. But that being said, this is the Sonic movie I wanted the first one to be for sure. Bringing in Tails, bringing in Knuckles, doing video game shit like out the wazoo in this movie.
I told you, after the movie, I was like, one of the things that I think we all respond really well to, but like, I love it when I can feel the passion for the material coming from the filmmakers. Like they've loved the thing and they're just poured their whole heart. Aquaman, the Batman, those films, like those directors poured everything they wanted into this movie, and it was like everything in the kitchen sink. Very similar feeling while watching Sonic. You can tell that the people who wrote this movie, the people who created this movie, really love Sonic and just really want to do right by that character and really want to show why that character is cool. I really like this.
And as someone who is not as like entwined with the lore, I think they do. I think they do really cool stuff, because like if you're unfamiliar with Sonic, if you just know Sonic as a guy who goes really fast, I don't think you know that he involves the universe travel and monsters and like all this stuff, right? Like they say the word multiverse in this movie, and I'm like, it's pretty cool. Sonic can be pretty cool. Yeah. Like I give him more. I need to give him more credit, I think, because I'm like, that was pretty cool.
Like this may be me grasping at straws, but I feel like the directors, they didn't just take stuff from some of the games and some of the outside media. They tried to reach and grab stuff from everything that they could, including the Archie comics that are no longer out, that aren't being made anymore. Like when he said multiverse, it's like, yeah, that was a thing in the Archie comic books. There was a multiverse. There is a multiverse. There's a universe where everything goes perpendicular to our own and everyone's walking sideways. It's hilarious.
Are there multiple Sonics?
Yes, a lot of Sonics. You go into one of those multiversal Sonic the Hedgehog books. There's a Sonic Batman, a Sonic Spider-Man, a Sonic Human Torch. It's everywhere. It's 90s craziness. It's like, let's put Sonic in anything. But also, it's not just the games. It's just
they poured love. They poured what they love about the franchise into this movie, and they wanted you to feel it too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about the movies that I named before, and that's what I really love about this film. I'll always respond really well, even if I don't care about the character. Like if you show me the passion that you have for it, it's infectious, and I want to feel it, and I want to get involved too.
Yep, that's a thing.
All this, the Council of Sonics.
It's several hundred side trips across the cosmic interstate later.
Wolverine Sonic.
It's awesome. The thing that I responded to the most, like, this is a really absurd movie. Like, the comedy is really bonkers, and like and I guess the first movie had some of that, but like I really feel this one, like specifically like all the bride stuff.
Yes, it was willing to be bonkers with the humans.
I ate it up. I thought it was so, like, oh my god, all the gunk stuff and like the secret agent husband.
Oh my god, when the husband is revealed to be
good. It should not be that funny.
That was horrible, because like it's so absurd, and so like Operation Catfish, like they catfished this woman just to get to, as the guy from Criminal Minds. It's the most absurd thing I've seen in a movie, at least in a long time.
Everything I did was all real.
There's definitely, like, I think a mental list both Ben and I had going into this movie of what we expected we would see, things we wanted to see, and things that made good sense that were going to come up in this movie. And way down that list is Gun. Like, nowhere near did I think Ben or I ever thought Gun was going to come on the chase.
Gun wasn't on my list because I remember seeing set photos of a Gun vehicle that had the G on it. So I'm like, oh shit, they're putting Gun in here. And I was like, maybe, okay, yeah. I mean, Sonic Robotnik fought in San Francisco, so okay, that kind of makes sense. I was thinking more that we were going to see like maybe Metal Sonic or just something, or we were even going to see like Amy was going to be the post credits tease.
Sure. And we'll get to that kind of stuff.
We'll get to the real post credits.
My point being, like, Gun is one of those absurd, kind of weird.
They did the research.
Things I just didn't think I'd see in a Sonic live action movie.
But the thing, like what Brandon was saying about how they put love and passion to it, what I also love about this film is that they put love and passion to it. They make it work. Like when we never when we see the emerald in the trailers, they never say it's a Chaos Emerald. They never say it's the Master Emerald. So we're postulating as like, what could the emerald be? Is it the Chaos Emerald? Is it a Chaos Emerald? And when we get to that scene in Siberia with like, hey, they did forge the 7 Chaos Emeralds and they merged to make the Master Emerald. I'm like,
it's the Infinity Gauntlet.
It makes sense. It makes sense that they do this. And like, cool, they have found a way to put in the Chaos Emeralds, and they found a way that they put in a Master Emerald to make it a really good MacGuffin.
I was really impressed with how much of the I think the stuff with the people works really well. Surprisingly, like I was really into a lot of that stuff, but like just Sonic and Tails, that stuff really impressed me because that's difficult to replicate with real people. Mm-hmm. With like, you can see like James Marsden Sonic, that's a two-hander. They're always bouncing off of each other. But this time you've got like 2 CG characters in spaces that are acting and reacting to live-action characters. Very impressive stuff. And I was surprised at how engaged I was. Honestly, more so than the human stuff. Not to say I wasn't, but like I loved the adventure with Sonic and Tails. Mm-hmm. It was a really engaging, really fun adventure story. It just really worked.
Well.
Yes,
Knuckles the Drax.
I think you made a. I know you were taking it from online, but you made a great point about this has faith in its CGI game cartoon based characters in a way the Transformers franchise never did.
Yeah, this is the Transformers movies, like they aren't really Transformers movies, right? Like this is a Sonic movie. It's all about Sonic. Like there are human characters, but like it's all about the emeralds. Like it's all Sonic shit. And I'm like, it's so nice that this could just happen. And it's crazy that like Sonic 2, it's Sonic and it's the sequel to Sonic. It's just like, here's how you make an incredible video game movie. Yeah. You do the thing, and you have people you make it good. And it's like, man, it must be nice, Sonic fans.
Yeah, I think you're right about like with the Transformers stuff. You could have always done a story with just the Transformers. And while the first film was saddled with a human character because the studio just didn't believe in the CG characters, this time that was able to build off of that foundation and create something really well. And now I'm just really bummed that the Transformers never got a movie where it's just two Transformers.
You can still have the human characters are still a big part of this movie. Yeah. But it feels like it's treated with respect and it's tied into the story instead of like, oh, we're making a human movie and we have to throw these robots in there.
I definitely want to focus on that for a moment because like I went into this like there were things I was confident about. I was confident at this point I was going to have a good time. Mm-hmm. I was confident I was going to really like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman and the Master Emerald stuff, and that I was going to have fun. I did not anticipate or have faith that James Marsden, his I forget the actress's name, but the one who plays his wife, and her sister were also still going to feel like not just appearances, they're still, but actual characters still part of the film, important to the story of the film. I didn't think we were going to get that. Mm-hmm. I didn't have faith they were going to go all the way with that and like make that still. That's what really like impresses me, to be honest. Like there's all the Sonic inclusion stuff. It's incredible. I'm very happy about it. It's very well done. Yay. The fact that the human characters were able to maintain relevance from the first film and build upon it is impressive. The fact that we did get the sister back, that we got the niece back, JoJo. You got her name.
So I got Tika Sumpter as Maddie, and then Natasha Rothwell as the sister Rachel.
I love both of them. Yeah. They're so good.
Like there's a scene specifically. It's like halfway through the movie, and it's like during the bright stuff, and it's the two sisters like crouched down, and it's like I'm like, okay, this is the part of the movie where it's the human stuff, and it's not going to be as good. And it continuously was really funny the entire way through. And it's stuff like Randall, like,
and there's the. I've never laughed so hard at the name Randall before.
Yeah. Right.
There was because every time she was given a weapon, she was just like, and then I'll strangle Randall with this. Yeah. There's the I got distracted. What was I gonna say? Sorry.
It was a great thing.
I got.
Oh, the scene where Sonic calls during the wedding. I need the ring. I clocked right away that he gave him the wrong ring. Yeah. But how funny it was.
Yes. To
get the ring back and just throw it in there.
Tika Sumpter and James Marsden have the bit where they're going to Hawaii and Sonic's doing the fake airport terminal.
Oh, it's so good.
And their commitment to the bit is so good.
Their chemistry is so good.
That Tika Sumpter is engaging with Sonic as though he is a child. Like in the room.
Her child.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, this is really good. They invested in committing to what they're in, and that's part of what makes the whole thing so fun to watch. Is that they're not phoning it in. They are really delivering the fact that they live in the same world as Sonic the Hedgehog, and like that is wild, and it's incredibly awesome.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about the human stuff. There's one other thing I want to get to. One of the things when I was going into this movie, I was partially hopeful, but at the same time partially scared of, was that, I mean, part of me was hoping that the humans were going to take a back seat, or a very big back seat, because I want to see more of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. That's what I'm here to see. And Ryan, the same scene you're talking about earlier about with Maddie and Rachel when they're going to try and sneak past all those gun officers, I was like, okay, am I going to hate this part? I loved it. I loved every second of it. I actually cared about when it cut away from Sonic and Tails to go to focus on Maddie and Tom and Rachel in the wedding. I actually wanted to hear what they were talking about. I want, like, the whole yoga scene, or like the beach volleyball scene where Tom gets his ass kicked, and he's like, Sonic needs that. And also one thing that really got me is when Robotnik's attacking Green Hills, and Maddie's... I'm sorry, real quickly. You said the scene where James Marston's getting beat with volleyballs. Sonic needs that. Sonic needs James Marston to be hit by volleyballs.
Oh my god, guys.
Dude, like, they're all, they're like having the best time. They're like just throwing water on each other, like, we're best friends. And like, Sonic needs friendship. I'm like, man, it's so good.
It is good. But it's a good point, because like that was the thing, is that kept a relevant thematic element that kept those human characters tied to Sonic. And it made sense, even though they're not in the same location for so much of the film. The pacing about their story and how those elements are tied to each other are done so well. And the fact that they're informing on each other, like they're talking about their concerns about Sonic being alone, and Sonic is being shown for the first time not being alone, as far as like having a companion like him. Great. Really great.
He really takes to Tails. Tails is like so like revelatory of Sonic, and Sonic really appreciates that, but also is really happy to see something like him. Not only an anthropomorphic animal from another planet, but one that's weird in his planet.
He's a hero. Sonic's a hero.
I do echo something that Ryan and I were talking about after the film, where I think Tails has probably the weakest of characterizations for the whole film. Because it's very much just like hero worship, and that's kind of it. There's the adventure stuff. There is good emotionality, but like Tails has like a lot of just like classic Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'm like, for me it works because it's very much speaking to like early in their career Tails, especially as Ben pointed out from the Archie comics. That's very much who Tails is. Tails has not grown into the confidence of himself as a hero figure, so I feel like that can still come, but it definitely does get a little like maybe one too many of these Tails lines.
I mean, one of the things I was also really scared about this movie is that Sonic was kind of like brushed Tails aside. It's like, no, that's your best friend. But I also do agree that one of the lower points of the film for me is like when Tails kept saying only Sonic the Hedgehog could get in this much trouble. It's like, can you please stop saying that, Tails? You know this.
It's a thing. It's a thing for me because like I'm not familiar. Like I know they're friends, but I don't know like that relationship. Like to me, it seems like Tails is almost like a stalker, and it's like luckily he's a nice guy. Otherwise, Sonic would be like hanging out with like his stalker.
Well, that's what I really liked about it, because like. Not necessarily the stalker part, but like seeing like Sonic, like Tails really loves Sonic, and so that kind of gives Sonic what he loves, which is kind of an ego boost. He's been kind of down, he's been feeling lonely, and then he gets this thing who at first he doesn't think of as a friend, he just kind of thinks of as a fan, and then they become friends and then brothers by the end of the movie. I thought that really worked.
That stuff works. It's mostly for me like I just like. All of Tails' dialogue, I think too much of it was, oh, Sonic's really cool, isn't he? And I'm like, I'd rather know more about you.
Yeah, it's just dialogue stuff.
It's just dialogue stuff. Like, I think the character is really well represented. I love the look. Like, the designs, like, they're even better than that first movie. Like, you brought up, like the spikes look so much better.
When you go from the first one to the second one, like, it's clear that Sonic looks a lot better in this one, partially because, like, the team knew from the jump what they were going for. It stood out to me this last time I watched the first one, that, like, you can really see where the realistic idea is still in the back of Sonic's quills. Like, the back of his head still has a lot of that, like,
a lot of
it
detail.
Needs to look like specific separate quills. It can't look like his classic like kind of comes together as much look. That is much more clear here. They also like lighten up his blue color to something more, I think, representative of what he's like in the games and in the art. And this looks really good.
Yeah,
this looks really good.
I think I love Sonic's look. I think Knuckles looks the best of all three of them, to be honest.
He looks awesome.
Like like it's such an interesting design choice because like I understand the first decision to make it look realistic, and like obviously that's not the right choice. This is such a weird line of making it realistic, but it's still a cartoon. And I think they pull it off like magically. Yes. Like it looks so good. It looks natural, but it's still like completely out of this world. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the thing is like when you're willing to let all the characters engage with them and acknowledge them in this world, in this context, like they're aliens, they're interdimensional beings.
Exactly.
And like you can just kind of be like, great.
Yeah.
Like we can just do
you don't need to explain why they look a certain way. Like they're aliens. Like who cares?
Yeah. As much as
it's the Detective Pikachu effect. You know, they feel Detective Pikachu, they feel like they belong in that world. Very similar here.
Yeah. Quickly, I want to say something about Tails before I want to talk about Knuckles. Tails, I mean, I do feel like he was like the least well represented of the whole film, but I do love what they did, that they kept him as the genius. He's a gadget guy. He has all these really cool gadgets, and I love that they brought that into this movie. And it's like, man, and also his gadgets still have like that, his little two-tail motif to him. Like the boomerang that Rachel throws has like the two white tips on it. It's like, man, they did their research. They know what they're doing. It's so good.
There's the joke where Rachel, she has like a gun, like, I don't know what this thing does it even work? Psh, oh yeah, it works. And I'm like, man, she could have killed someone.
Speaking on the tail stuff, like Sonic has so much like thematic storytelling be done. There's the part about him being isolated and alone. But there's like how that connects him to Knuckles, what they've lost. There's him wanting to be a hero and being bad at it because he's trying to make the moment himself, and having the conversation, which is pretty good, with James Marsden, where he's like, the moment's going to find you, and your powers are going to be needed, and you'll need to do it. And having Tails be this person who's idolized him, and Sonic recognizing in himself when he's more focused on his selfishness that he puts others in danger, and like that ultimately being like him recognizing not only when he needs to step up, but when he needs to embrace others to do it, and it's not just about him. All of that is in this movie, and that's pretty cool.
He's got
because he feels because Tails is the one who suffers because of Sonic's selfishness,
right?
Making the moment about himself, and he kind of like clicks him into the end of his arc, which is because he is like, I'm not a hero. Look what I did. Because of me, look what happened to Tails.
Yeah, he thinks being a hero is flashy, saving the girl, like taking pictures. It's like, no, man, you gotta
real quick on that note, another thing I really like about this one over the first one is like, and it's still a little bit of a problem for me with the first one, not to a degree where it really ruins that movie, but like Sonic still doesn't totally feel like Sonic in that first movie to me. The character's not quite on the level of like the confidence and the coolness of who he is, who Sonic typically is. Like it's not all there. It's there, but it's not all there for that first one. This one has that in spades. This is the Sonic who like likes to do things and look flashy, look cool, very, very stylish, very like devil may care attitude. And it still like has a grounded emotional arc about it, about how when he needs to bring that back down and when he can be that kind of wisecrack. The way he gives it to Eggman in this movie is so much sharper than it was in the first one.
All of their interactions are just so fun. Ben Schwartz as Sonic, he's excellent. I've watched like a bunch of interviews with him recently. John Ralphio in Parks and Rec. There's a Parks and Rec joke. You're the worst, and like couldn't believe that's in a Sonic movie, and I'm like, God bless these creators. It's so good. Ben Schwartz is so fun.
Yeah, Colleen, of course, I know I've been talking a little negative on Tails. Colleen O'Shaughnessy delivers like she's been for the past 20 or 10 plus years with the character.
I think the whole voice cast is really great. Idris Elba is very good as Knuckles.
Okay, let's talk about Knuckles for a bit, because God, I love what they did with Knuckles in this movie. It is so good, and it's just so like early. It's like early Knuckles in the video games and early Knuckles in the Archie books as well. They nailed it.
When he thinks Robotnik's about to betray him, and he's just like, "I'll fight all." Oh, there's stairs.
Unbelievable stuff.
They are stairs. Yeah, it's a really great. Like Ryan asked me about it. And I'm like, the spirit of Knuckles is still there, even though they're like having him speak in a way that's not necessarily inherently the character as he is in the game.
A little more Draxian.
Yeah, a little more Drax, a little more the bravado of Antonio Banderas's Puss in Boots in there. But he is still very much the spirit of who Knuckles is, and it really, really works when he's reading the text messages.
Dot.
The thing
The tiny magical hedgehog is dead. Let's move on to the next part.
His like the thing they didn't say it in this movie, thank God, but like the thing, like, you're not so different, you and I, like that is like the thing that's between them, and like that works really well. Like Knuckles is like he had a bad childhood and that shaped him in this direction, and Sonic had like the opposite, and they crossed paths, and like, oh, Knuckles isn't a bad guy, he just had on a bad path. I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Which brings me to my first question, Sparks.
Yeah, what's up?
Ben.
Mm-hmm.
How much of the echidna stuff is from the games?
The tribe thing is there. The only thing they twisted was that because the Echidna tribe, they were the Guardians of the Master Emerald and Chaos. This is going from Sonic Adventure lore. They held this. They have the seven Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald, and that helped keep Chaos, this giant watery monster, at bay. Unfortunately, another tribe came in, burnt down their temple, and shit went bad. So in the movie, they decided to switch it where the Echidnas were trying to get this ultimate power, and then the Owls were like, yeah, no, you shouldn't have that. So they swoop in literally and take it.
Oh, that's not going to work. That's Chaos. It's a water monster.
That's Chaos Zero, to be specific.
Yeah. Chaos is cool. Kind of thought it was the logical next step with the Echidna stuff and like the emeralds being introduced and knowing where the Knuckles show is coming. I will say that's one of the things where like I'm a little like, because it's new, it's the owl and echidna stuff, and like the echidnas have always been like on the side of good as a tribe. So it's a little jarring to have it like, I don't think the owls are necessarily bad.
I think
it's very weird, and I'm not sure what, like, obviously we need the show to explore this, but like when Knuckles comes through the ring, before him come those three humanoid characters, but they have a mix of the materials. They have like some of the tribal stuff of the echidnas, but they also have like kind of owl-ish helmets. So I'm like, I don't know what's happening there.
Guess you gotta watch that show that I'm
So it's really interesting. We're gonna have to see, like, because I'm like, I don't think they're gonna reveal that Longclaw was actually bad. So, but like, I don't think the echidnas are bad either.
I think it's a situation where it'll be like both sides had wrong information, and they were both good, and they just like they went to war for the wrong reasons, and it's like, oh, it was a tragedy, and like this never should have happened. Like no one was in the wrong. I hope so, because then it'd be weird to make somebody bad that wasn't bad before.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, but Knuckles is the last of the echidnas in this one, so it's not like they'll ever come back.
It's true. Flashbacks.
Well, yeah, there's still a lot of echidna lore they could reveal, and also like, is Knuckles the last of the echidnas, or does Knuckles just think he's the last?
Is this a Goku situation where he's the last Saiyan, and then it turns out, oh no, just like 100 more?
Ooh, do you think maybe we'll see the floating? No, that's what
I don't know.
I was surprised we didn't see the floating island now.
I know.
Excuse me. I thought when that thing was revealed in the ocean, it was going to rise up.
If that was going to be Angel Island, I was like, they freaking did it. Man, there's just so much stuff they can. Now, the more I talk about this movie, the more I'm now getting. I want to see this movie again, and B, I'm getting hyped up for 3 because there's still so much they can take from the video games, not just the adventure games, all of the games,
not just
toss it in there and make it so good.
Not just Sonic 3. Knuckles TV show's coming out before that.
Very excited for that.
I know.
Sonic is about to get very popular.
Oh yeah.
Because there's the show on Netflix, the animated show on Netflix that's coming. And then
Sonic Frontiers.
You got a new game.
And also we got the re-release of the Sonic Origins, which includes Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic CD.
Yeah, I think we're in for a Sonic-sance. Sonic-sance.
You know what? So it's not officially on the website just yet on Go Nintendo. It's still in editing right now, but I did write something about the Sonic games that were only on Nintendo consoles. Little sizzle for the future when it finally does go up. There have been any diehard Sonic the Hedgehog fan will tell you this. Sparks can tell you this. that there have been so many times where a game is slated to come out, we get our hopes up, and then it turns out to either be middle of the road or bad, and then something amazing comes out. The cycle that's been plaguing us the past few years is Sonic 06, colors, really good. Generations, very good. Sonic Forces, meh. Sonic Mania, best game we've gotten in over 10 years. And now,
you're leaving out some in-betweens there.
Yeah, let's see. We got Sonic and Secret Rings.
You let them out for a reason.
I know there's a Wii one that people really don't like.
Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black.
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Yeah, that one where Sonic was a LARPer.
Sonic Frontiers. That's an open world Sonic game.
Yes, that's open world.
It's going to be
Sonic Unleashed.
Oh, he's a werewolf.
That one's
Sonic in the Lost World.
He's a werewolf.
Lost World wasn't that bad, I've heard.
Sonic 06.
But you see what I mean? Like, there's a lot of like.
Yeah, it's middle of the road games. They're not the best. But then so the fact that we're getting Frontiers, the movie came out. It's
another movie.
Yeah, another movie came out. The fact that we even got the sequel to me is nothing short of.
Let's talk about Super Saiyan.
It makes sense to me that now that they greenlit Sonic 3 already and that show, like they saw what they had. That it was quality.
They got a roadmap.
You were correct.
They got a roadmap.
Before we go to that, like there's the moment where it's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and they're staring down the street at the Death Egg robot, and I'm like, man, you crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
Sparks, because there's a good game called Sonic Heroes where you play as all three of them at once, and I just lean over and go, Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, they did a great thing in the trailers by leaving Knuckles out of that final fight.
Yeah,
because I didn't realize he's on that plane too. Hell yeah, teamwork.
I want to talk about some of the colors of the thing. Sparks, you talked about they've made him more blue, but the whole movie has a beautiful color palette that's so bright, and I know it's kind of a staple of kids movies, but like I don't know, it just felt different. It like the color had a different vibe to it that wasn't just like look pretty colors for children. It just was like this is a colorful world. Yes. This is the world that we live in.
Yeah, it's a staple of Sonic to have a bright color palette, and so like this really felt like it played to it.
The spooky greens of the emerald.
The greens are exquisite.
Yeah, the green.
Honestly, like I like in the whole movie, like my favorite stuff is like I like the whole movie, but like when Robotnik turns into God Emperor Robotnik and he's just floating and he's got the crazy voice, and this electricity's everywhere, and I'm like, this is so cool. This is really cool.
When he's doing the Jaeger thing.
I can smell the electricity in your brain.
Yes, he is so creepy. Oh, I love it.
So also there's
got the manual.
There's a lot of really great homages to so we got Sonic in the first film, and when we were driving to the movie, Fanny was like, "Do you think they're gonna say 'Do you know the way' for to Knuckles?"
Oh, did they?
No, they didn't say it, but he's like, and Jim Carrey's or Robotnik's like, "But I can show you the way." So I'll take that as an homage, but even there's
you get Sonic again.
Yeah, where do we get Sonic?
He's the fake propped up face.
Oh yeah.
When he comes up to look for him, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm farting."
Oh god,
he falls
I should use real farts.
Yeah. There's another great homage.
Wait, that's a thing from the game?
No, that's
Sonic is an internet meme, and there's a design you see when like Crazy Carl in the first one is talking about the Blue Devil. His drawing is Sonic, which is like this just awful drawing of Sonic that became an internet meme as Sonic. And it's the same design on his face.
There's this other great meme. There's like there's something else. Oh yeah, the robot manual. It wasn't a meme, but it was that's Sonic.
Oh yes,
the classic retro manual,
classic Sega manual, and also like
I read the manual.
Yeah, and then when Sparks pointed out the Mean Bean coffee shop, I'm like, oh my god,
Mean Bean is from Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which is a game, spin-off game from Sonic, and so the Mean Bean being named that, I'm like, man, these guys.
Because I played Sonic Mania with you, Ben. I definitely recognize it's very subtle, but there is the underwater death music for literally half a second. And I'm like, man,
the way he takes in the bubble.
Oh, and he takes in the bubble. And I'm like, video games.
Even I got that because I was familiar with it. I was like, oh, they did it. They did it.
Yeah. Our theater was not packed at all, but everybody in that theater was having a great time.
Yeah.
There was like 25 people. Everyone was hooting and hollering.
Oh man, like the second Sonic goes underwater and then you hear the do, 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 it's like, oh no. It's like 30 years of Sonic anxiety just washed over me because
It's a bad noise.
You're right
Yeah.
though. Like all Sonic stuff aside, like what great absurdist comedy there is in all parts of this movie. Like I just want to highlight like things like when they go to the Scandinavian place and you got the lady knitting and she pulls.
Oh my god,
It's the most SpongeBob joke. Just pulls up the knitting.
it is a SpongeBob joke. You're
and
right.
then pulls it up later, and you can see her eyes
Yeah.
through it, which makes it all the more menacing.
I cannot tell you.
It's ridiculous.
That
The
is
dance
100%.
battle.
And they
Yeah.
chop off the fish's head, which there shouldn't even be that guy in the room. And he chops it off, and it rolls in front of them, and it goes, "Run!"
That is 100%. You're right. That is SpongeBob humor. Yeah. That is my favorite scene in the movie. I did not expect the crazy Russian man with the tattoo of himself.
You
to
were too
come out.
You were too far away to catch this, but when they won the dance battle, Brandon turned to me and said, "So they put the other guy in the fire."
God.
Yes, because the whole time, because this is what my brain thinks of when I'm high. I was thinking about that moment, and the whole time the dance battle, I was like, if Sonic and Tails win, do they have to throw the guy in the fire? Because like that's the thing, right? If they lose, they die. So
It's so silly and
And it's-
stupid. The guy has the tattoo of himself presenting.
He
on
does
his
the
chest.
crossing and then he
Yeah.
does it to himself tiny.
Mhm.
And he's such a good dancer. Those were some hot ass moves.
Yes.
Some kicks.
No.
Those
Yeah.
those kicks, man.
Yeah.
Unexpected, killed me.
Oh man, just that whole scene was great, and
Randall.
even the homages to the classic, like when you're in Siberia and he's going down the mountain skateboarding, that's Ice Cap Zone.
Yes.
I'm just like, God, they did it. They took one of the most classic Sonic stages from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and they put it in this movie as an homage.
Oh,
freaking
I love that you brought that up, because like I would not know this, but how naturally it felt to the story. This kind of thing that is apparently a reference. How it's just like it's part of the story. This is the story that we're telling.
Yeah,
This story
in fact,
has this thing happen.
It's so great to get Sonic on a snowboard because that's like a huge feature of the games. Is like it almost in every game there's a sequence where you end up on some kind of board because Sonic's like honestly like Sonic's attitude became cool skater bro in the early 90s. Like that's who Sonic is. He's that guy.
That was
And,
the
like,
demographic they're
they
going.
incorporate that all the time, and so the fact that it got to show up in this film is really great. You've got I want to touch on it because I know you caught it too, Ben, but like Robotnik's got some new drones. Some of them look like a very particular badnik.
No, they're called Buzz Bombers. I saw the toys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Buzz Bomber. I was.
They don't have the coloring, but they're the ones that look like bees.
Yeah, they're yellow. and
they come from the games directly.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, nice.
Sparks, I
Even
could
got
not
the
tell you
board.
how close I was to buy that because it was a figurine set with Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Robotnik and a Buzz Bomber. I was this close to buying it just because it said Buzz Bomber on the box.
Yeah.
He's got the. I always think
He
of.
finally has the correct pod.
I always think of Bowser because it reminds me of Bowser's pod.
yeah,
it's like
but
similar
the circular vehicle.
Oh,
is finding
I-
here.
I loved watching this movie next to Sparks. It was such a joy. Like when the pod comes out, you just got so excited, and I was like, I'm so happy for you.
Guys, it's
I-
so truly. I joked about it before we went and saw it, but it's so truly like the reverse of watching Dragon Ball Evolution. It's like, oh, look how they got everything. They did it. They really did it all.
I can't get
Oh,
over how
and-
good that big ass death robot looks.
Yeah.
It's
At
so
the-
cool.
Not to talk about the post credits, the mid credits sting, but like when it happened, and the whole theater was so excited, and I was like, I don't know why they're so excited, but I'm really happy for them.
This is the Thanos moment for regular people in a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it was kind of like what I felt like when I was watching Downton Abbey. Like people were really excited for the new Downton Abbey movie, and I was like, I don't know why, but I'm really, really excited for you guys.
I remember the other thing I was going to mention earlier about how they embrace the jokes and all the other stuff from Sonic lore. So you guys know how in the poster that makes homage to the video game cover.
One of the best posters in the world. Yes.
That poster is going to be going up right there next weekend, hopefully. There's this line in there where it says "Welcome to the next level." That was a famous Sega marketing campaign.
Oh yeah.
Back in the 90s. And when Robotnik says, "Welcome to the new norm," I'm like, close enough. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I will take it. I'm pretty sure
Jim Carrey is so wonderful in this movie.
He really is.
He's
a
so
true-
good. He's so good. He looks so good in the role. Like now that we've got him with the shaved head, with the mustache, it looks great. I don't need the big gut. Like he looks great
Yeah.
as
still
is.
got-
I love I love the nod when he's doing the costume changes. You get classic Robotnik's look, so you just get to see what it would look like.
Yeah, I made Robotnik.
Those goggles look great.
Yeah,
just the way he uses them when he puts them on. How he looks just like Robotnik from the games. Honestly, when he's got them down and he's got his mustache, it's like that's him.
Especially when he's like silhouetted. It's like, oh, that's just a scary robot, man. Robot.
One of the things, going way back to the first trailer for the first Sonic movie, back when it was like, when people have called cursed Sonic, everyone was saying that Jim Carrey was going to save the movie just because of what he looked like at that little last bit of the trailer with him as classic Robotnik with the crazy mustache and the shaved head.
Oh, that's right. They did show that in the trailer for the first movie.
I don't even remember what he originally looks like.
Yeah.
He had he had a different mustache.
Yeah, his
hair.
Yeah,
he had
hair.
hair.
I don't even remember.
But then when he comes in this movie, just even seeing the trailers and what he looks like, it's like, this is Robotnik. I don't need him with the big gut, but he looks so good. And we said it before and I'll say it again. If Jim Carrey does come back for 3, God, I hope he does, because I cannot imagine anyone else playing Dr. Robotnik besides Jim Carrey.
So I'm doing a thing. So audio listeners can't see it, but I'm doing a thing where I'm mimicking his hand computer, and I'm doing it to prove a point. There is nobody who could prove. I'm sorry. Shut up. So anyway, we named it after the Star Trek thing. So, so like watching that, Jim Carrey is the only one with expressive enough and long enough fingers to make that look ridiculously cool.
Yeah,
the hand computer,
like activating his drones thing. Yeah, it's a really nice touch, and the fact that he's carried it over from the first one, it's really works. Yeah. It's very nice. Adoni Zedek, our good friend Marty, brought up. He looked like the latte art. He's making the latte art.
Yeah, and he had the little hair,
like when he had the hair and the mustache. Yeah.
Oh my God, Stone. Stone like reserved like smaller role, but like so much fun. He owns a latte place just in the meantime, and then like I forget what the passcode is, but it turns into like evil Robotnik lair. And it's like, man,
it's like it's the Austrian goat's milk latte.
Yeah.
Also, I just love how when when he gets the latte and he's like, could use more mushroom, and Stone's like, what? And he also calls him Stone because he's been on that mushroom plant for almost a year, and he's lost his mind.
Oh yeah, the opening Rube Goldberg project of making coffee 100 different times and it's bad every single time. Just allowing Jim Carrey just to be like really dumb. And I say that, but I mean that in the most positive way. It's just like this movie's goofy as hell, and I'm like, I'm so excited for like the future of Sonic. Like if this is like the tone of it I'm like, I'm in. Like they have a formula that's so good.
It really helps to have someone like Jim Carrey and as Robotnik, because he is a live action cartoon. He at least he can be.
Right.
And so like seeing him grounded the first movie in an absurdist world, because he's so unlike everyone else we've just met. He is part of this cartoon farce that we are watching, and that's carried off into the next movie. It helps that a cartoon is fighting a cartoon, essentially.
Yeah. There's the Olive Garden guy. I think that guy is fantastic.
Olive Garden guy?
He's got such like a weird tone of voice that it reminds me of like Leslie Nielsen.
Sure.
And I'm like, he's just like, I'm a commander man, and I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, good character actor.
Yeah. You know what? One thing I must say, because I know one of the problems from the first movie was a lot of like the really hardcore product placement. I do like how they bring it back with Olive Garden guy, and it's kind of funny. And then he also brings back the joke. It's like, we'll send him a gift card. It's like, that's hilarious.
I don't mind product placement if it's incorporated well or if it's funny. Like I didn't even notice it. Like I noticed it like, oh, they say these words, but like it felt natural and it felt funny. It wasn't like we have to stop the movie to talk about IHOP.
It was better. It was better than the first one when they were just like, yeah, that's an apartment that I found on Zillow.
And then Jeff Goldblum's like, hello.
Olive Garden guy was funny, and then he's like, cancel my reservation at the Olive Garden.
Boy, that dude loves the Olive Garden.
He does.
Such good human stuff.
The thing that I really liked is the through line of Donut Lord's name is
Tom.
Dave.
Tom.
Tom and Sonic having that kind of father-son commercial, that kind of father-son bond, and they don't quite they don't quite acknowledge all that James Marsden does earlier in the film, but like having that through line come back with Sonic calling Tom Dad, very sweet.
Oh, yeah, at the end of the movie, they're all about to die together. And they're like, hey, like this is our fate. We chose each other. Like this is how we go out, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I love you. And I'm like, I know they're not about to die, but I'm like, man, it's like it feels like Toy Story 3.
Right.
But if they did,
Sonic's about to come.
I'm like, oh no, those emeralds are about to be crazy.
I see those emeralds, baby.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Supersonic? Because the second that emerald showed up, like the Master Emerald shows up, I'm like, we gotta get Supersonic in here. We got it.
Well, I was under the impression that they were different things, so I kind of thought that this being in it,
they
stupidly.
But
they are.
They're not, but they are.
Got it.
The Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds are different.
Right. You told me that the Chaos Emeralds are kind of like Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
Yes.
They function kind of that way as far as like, spreading out and having to bring them back together, that kind of thing.
Are there 7?
I told Ben I was not surprised. Yeah, there's 7. I told Ben
They're
I was
Dragon
not
Balls.
surprised. Yeah. I was not surprised that the Chaos Emeralds were inside the Master Emerald.
No,
I felt like that was going to be a way to like really streamline that for audiences rather than trying to explain, well, there's these 7 emeralds and then there's this big emerald. And the big emerald's really important to Knuckles. These 7 emeralds are kind of the thing that Robotnik gets obsessed with. But I think that it worked very well for the movie logic, even though the 7 emeralds go away and then Knuckles is like, but also here's the Master Emerald. And I'm like, well, all right, that's fine.
That's for the Knuckles show.
Yeah.
the way I see him, like when he's fixing the shards, that's Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Because that's his missions from the game. He breaks the Master Emerald and he has to go find shards of it so he can put it back together.
Yeah. I get that. I get that point. I'm just saying, like, the movie's establishment that the Chaos Emeralds made the Master Emerald.
Right.
Yeah. Now that's something. The Master Emerald will be something else, and the Chaos Emeralds are their own thing.
It felt like, and just coming from the movie, like the Master one is like the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
But now it's just like a thing they don't know what to do with, because it's like now it's just like a holder device. Who knows what we can do with it?
Now it's a glove.
Now it's a glove. Now it's just a rock.
No, go ahead.
No, getting the 7 Chaos Emeralds and seeing Supersonic. I cannot tell you how happy that made me. I should have seen it coming a mile away, but like when you see the emeralds go inside Sonic and Robotnik steps on the family, and it's like, oh, we're getting Supersonic.
Right, you see the animation that I've even seen where they make a ring and they go inside him.
Yeah, it just like the video games, because when he gets all 7 Chaos Emeralds, they circle around, go inside of him, and then boom, he can become Supersonic, and it's so good. Like that animation, they got the eyes, the color, everything was like, that is a live action Supersonic. That is so fucking.
I love Knuckles. Is like, stay back. He's no longer the Sonic you know. Chili dog. No, take that back.
Uses godlike powers for chili dogs
to make a chili dog. It's like, I take that back. He's exactly the Sonic you know.
What's really cool is he gives the power up and then it dissipates, and it's like, Sonic, you could have been a god. He's like, I could have been, but I definitely am like still a kid, and I don't deserve that power yet. And I'm like, what a responsible young man. Look at the arc that this young man has had.
Yeah.
That's character, baby. That's storytelling. I love it.
I love how they do that, because, I mean, in the games, you only can become Supersonic depending on how many. You have to have 50 as your minimum, and then it's a timer. How many rings you get, it's a timer. You get 1 ring, you add a second. And
he definitely lost all his rings, so I'm calling foul.
Oh, no, yeah. But in the way this movie works, and he's able to give up the powers of being Supersonic so he can save his family, and after saving his family's done, he's like, okay, I don't need this anymore.
He gave up unlimited chili dogs.
He did.
Yeah.
But that's what Sonic does. I mean, we don't really talk about Sonic's personality, but in the games and in like all the comic books, both IDW and Archie, he is the person who will always do the right thing. He may be a little bit brash, he may have a way of doing things, but he will always do the right thing in the end. And in this case and instance, it was giving up ultimate power because he doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, he's just here to have a good time. And if he has to stop some Eggmans, he will. But he's just here to have a good time.
Don't get in the way of his good time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if he feels like he needs them again, he can just go seek them out again.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. All the games in the adventure through on, that happens.
I love Knuckles being incorporated into the family. I think all that stuff is really fun.
I love how Tails and Knuckles. And also, I'm really happy they put in Tails' real name, Miles per Hour.
Me too. Though I was kind of bummed that there wasn't a moment where Sonic went, "Your name is
Miles per hour?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Just so that Ben could realize it.
I know.
I knew it. I knew it because I remembered that when you said that, it unlocks the information in my head. But like, I definitely forgot.
Yeah.
I did want to say like this was something where really not a knock on the film. It's more just a comment on marketing. Like, I preferred the moment in the trailer where Knuckles caught Sonic and said, "Do I look like I need your power?" rather than where they put it in the film.
Oh yeah.
I thought having him holding him like that and then saying, "Do I look like I need your power?" and slamming him into the ground was a really good beat. I'm kind of bummed it was in a different location in the film.
He just goes like pathetic or something.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Supersonic a bit more.
Oh,
Sure.
okay. Yeah.
Namely, how many more movies do you think we're getting that are doing Dragon Ball Z before we get the Dragon Ball Z movie?
So here's the thing. I truly cannot believe that we got Supersonic before we got anything.
Supersonic.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, like, that's how crazy this is. Like, this unlocks something for someone going, "Oh, we can do that, but with peoples."
Yeah.
Oh, well, like we got like Aquaman, Captain
Got that
Marvel,
armor. Yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah.
How much longer are we piecemealing a Dragon Ball Z movie together before we get
Honestly,
a Dragon Ball Z movie?
Like, I would not want. It's an interesting question. First, like, do you do Dragon Ball or do you do Dragon Ball Z? But if you just start at Dragon Ball Z, right? I would not totally hate if they lean more into the comedy of a Dragon Ball and they make not the people who made Sonic 2, but like the same type of movie where it relies on comedy and then when it needs to get dramatic, it can be dramatic. Because like I'm trying to think who would I get to make a Dragon Ball movie, and I'm like, oh, I get like the craziest filmmaker in the world, but I'm like, maybe that's not what you need. Maybe
Quite
you need
honestly,
something smaller.
Quite honestly, Sonic in this movie, not entirely, but mostly acts as a Goku character.
Yeah, yeah, a little.
So like, or the what's his Monkey Prince, person. But so this is a pretty good template for what a Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z movie could be.
Yeah. If you honestly like, oh my god, let's just talk about Dragon Ball Z real quick. If you just do the first movie, you do the Raditz saga, like you're introduced the first 15 minutes, or it's Kami Island. That was called
Kami Island.
Island. Like you meet Goku and you meet his, oh, this is my new son and this is my mentor, Master Roshi. Then the villain comes. Like you can do a 2-hour easy, simplistic, fun version of that script. Yeah. Like I see it in my head after Sonic 2. I see it in my head how you do it.
I think the ideal path, honestly, I've thought about it a lot. Is I do think you need to do Dragon Ball. Yeah. I think you need to do Dragon Ball, then go Dragon Ball Z. I do think you have to. I think you have to do at least 2 Dragon Balls.
I just wonder if they will.
Maybe 3 or 4 Dragon Ball Zs.
Yeah.
I also deeply think like if you really want to go for it, you really want to do something. You make the Saiyans black.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z means so much to Black culture at this point, and the representation, whether it was intended or not, that has become a white tyrant overlord wanting to eradicate all monkeys, and what that has meant. You give that role over and let them dominate that, something that has become a cultural touchstone. Like you got something real. Like you could put a lot of work into what that means for those characters.
Listen, Michael B. Jordan is directing Creed 3 right now, and he bringing anime inspirations to that movie, and I'm like, all right.
That's the thing. Okay. It's like it's a huge cultural landmark for our generation, but it's especially a cultural landmark for Black people of our generation. Yeah. And like that's you really want to do something with it. I think you go ham wild and you do it that way. But yeah, I think you started Dragon Ball. I think you started Dragon Ball, and I think you have Goku fight the Red Ribbon Army.
That'd be great.
It's just crazy to me that we got Supersonic before.
For real. But like here's the thing, like the moment Captain Marvel happened, I'm like, there's Super Saiyans right there.
Yeah.
It's right there, baby.
Yeah.
It might be Captain Marvel, but it's right there.
Well, let's talk about something else that's super cool. Let's talk about a guy who shoots some guns.
The fake hedgehog.
The fake hedgehog.
Right, so
the genetic.
I cannot believe this was the tease.
Yeah, so Mag is in the chat. Hey, by the way, hi Mag, how's it going, bud?
Oh, Mag.
He's curious if we get Metal Sonic. Unfortunately, you're not. But then I just had a thought. maybe Metal Sonic could be the villain of the Knuckles TV show.
If it's guns, is Metal Sonic tied to gun? I have no idea.
No, Metal Sonic's Robotnik.
Okay,
That's
maybe
Robotnik.
Knuckles, maybe not. Maybe Metal Sonic's the third.
I think
I don't
we
think there's
can
any
tell
reason why Metal Sonic can't be in the third film, but I don't know it very well. So
it's really interesting that they're going to do Shadow. And while Fowler, the director for this one, has not signed on to do the third one yet.
He did the first one too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not clear who will be directing the third one. He has spoken about, like, when you pick Shadow, there's a lot of, like, reasons why people will love that character from Sonic Adventure 2. There's a lot of story elements that you need to maintain to make, like, fans appreciate it, which basically is saying, like, you gotta do the stuff with Maria, you gotta do the space colony arc, or you're not, like, respecting the character enough. So you're gonna get some really wild stuff because of that. I'm stunned it's going to be Shadow the Hedgehog, but I'm really thrilled that we'll get to see it. There's still, like, I just hope, like, and I don't think that it does. I don't think, like, going to Shadow next means that other things are now off the table for the future.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that we're going in this order.
I remember, I never read the article. I probably should have. I just saw a quick headline of it on online during one of my breaks at work, where the director said that going forward with Sonic films, or if they do make more after 3, which right now, like, look at their track record, God, I hope they do. They're not going to take the strict timeline of the games to heart. Like, obviously they're not, because chronologically speaking, the third game, it would be Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, which would be the next film.
Well,
But
sure.
Knuckles was in 2. We don't need to do that. We don't.
But
need
I mean, even not one for one in games. Like, they're not going by, like, the chronology of, like, when events happen, that kind of thing.
They'll do the MCU thing. They'll
which
pick
is fine.
what picks for this new timeline.
But I agree with Ben that, like, I think that there's just, like, Amy Rose and Metal Sonic are two things that I think both Ben and I definitely anticipate are, like, they're the logical next step from including Knuckles and Tails.
Mhm.
You get the first Robotnik making a robot to beat Sonic out of the material of Sonic, like, being like, I mean, like, it was always right there because he still has the quill.
Yeah.
So it's always just kind of, like, right there that, like, of course Robotnik could design a metal component to Sonic, and, like, Amy Rose is such an iconic character. It's very much like one of the main Fab Sonic characters. So that seems like it would be next. Yeah. So going to Shadow is wild, but it doesn't put those off the table.
True. Like, the way I was watching, the way I saw it in my head, I was hoping we would get, like, a kind of like how the first movie had 2 post-credit scenes. Like, there was, like, the one with Robotnik, with him and his classic idea and rock reconnaissance joke, and then we get to the credits scene, and then we get the reveal of Tails. I was hoping we'd see Robotnik or maybe even Sloan working on a Metal Sonic. You see his eyes light up for a second, and then go through the credits, and you see, like, a news report of a news thing of Green Hills. You see a screenshot of, like, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles on a plane, and then you see a pink hedgehog and someone in the background going, "Amy, dinner's ready." That would have been perfect to introduce.
Really
very specific.
For me, that would have been like, holy shit, she's there.
So what
getting Shadow is great.
The way I see it is like we just got Tails and we got Knuckles. Yeah. If Shadow is the only villain in the next movie, he's overpowered. They need Metal Sonic. They need something else to even the battlefield. Is Shadow a character like Fast and Furious where he becomes part of the family?
Yeah. Well, I think, like,
because this is turning into Fast and Furious. Because, like,
yes,
to me, it feels
yes.
Like
the answer is yes, which is one of the reasons why I'm also kind of surprised at Shadow, because, like, Shadow would be another person who, like, just like Knuckles, you're kind of bring onto the team eventually.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of surprised that's the direction we're going next.
Yeah.
Like, the other thing being, like, you'll still have Eggman.
Yeah.
In theory, let's just assume.
Let's
just assume,
as an
like,
entity.
Eggman is still a problem. Yeah. Gun goes after Sonic because they think Sonic is doing bad things that Shadow's actually doing, although I suspect that will be a little different because Gun is aware of Shadow, as according to this tease, so we'll see how that
By the way, great line. My God, Project Shadow.
Yeah. My God, Project Shadow.
Well, okay, also one of the reasons why I do want to see this movie again is because when we saw Shadow, the entire theater, myself included, was screaming like, holy shit.
I held up guns, baby. I know that game. See, I don't know the good Shadow. I only know the bad Shadow.
Right.
I remember that trailer.
It's gonna be really interesting how this will play out. But, like, there's all kinds of things on the table. It could be Metal Sonic. It could be It could be the other ultimate life form that comes attached to Shadow when he first appears in
I
Sonic
wanna
Adventure
see-
2 as the ultimate villainous force.
Robotnik's, like from the comics, like Robotnik's dumb two henchmen, like the two like goofy.
Are we talking about Scratch and Grounder or Orbot and Cubot?
I don't remember. There's
I think
goofy,
he's thinking of Bot and Cubot.
Okay.
one of the last comics we read. There was
Bot
like
and Cubot.
like
Oh, that's
goofy
Bot and
henchmen.
Cubot.
I'm like, if like Stone's cool, but like I would love some CGI like evil guys.
Stone to me is essentially filling the role of Snively. Like I don't think they'd ever do
Snively.
Snively, but he's basically Snively.
So that Snively is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think
That's what I'm
Stone is
thinking of.
essentially like your placement for Snively.
Yes. That makes
He's the
sense.
guy who would run the Eggman Empire if Eggman was ever like away or considered dead, but not really. We just don't know where he is.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we get the Eggman, though, like the classic Eggman logo, which on a lot of stuff, which makes me stupid happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
When he's making so carefully making the latte art, the dude just
That guy's like, why'd you do this?
so sad. There's something else because I remember I was talking to Sparks about getting Rouge the Bat, who was another villain, and whose villain turned good or semi good guy because she works for Gun in the games, but she would be the main antagonist for the Knuckles because she's a jewel thief. And what does she see? The Master Emerald. There you go. We got the villain for the TV show, baby.
Is Rouge like the Catwoman to his Batman?
Yes.
100%. I'm gonna get into this lore. Shit.
is Fast and Furious a Dragon Ball Z story? Think about it. Every villain turned into a hero. Same Dragon Ball Z did that.
I mean,
Dominic is pretty much Goku.
That's just classic anime.
Yeah, I think
Dominic is pretty much
this is Namek.
That's a straight.
I don't know.
He's
I don't know.
the flat character that changes the world around him.
I am really, really stoked about what the possibility of just seeing Shadow means, what they could do. There's a lot of ways they can go. I'm sure we get the important part of his backstory when he's introduced in Adventure 2. I'm sure that remains whole, but what else we get on top of it, I think Ryan's right. I think they're going to pull from something else as well. I think this is just the tease. There's more to come. Whether that be Rouge the Bat, whether that be a Metal Sonic, whether that
we
be
didn't know.
Who knows?
We didn't know coming out of the first film that Knuckles would be in this one. We just knew Tails.
Right.
So
And you get, honestly, we'll see what happens, and we'll probably just end up with Shadow and Big the Cat, and that will be it.
I gotta talk about the temple scene
Sure.
because the pure comedy of Jim Carrey running with a CGI echidna through halls of a booby-trapped ancient temple
Yeah.
is so great.
Yeah.
Just he's screaming.
He's like, I've calculated it. There's a booby trap every 7 seconds. That one was early.
I refuse to die this way. It's too derivative.
Yeah.
No, so good.
When they get out of the thing and his two legs are up. Two. Okay, we're good. I figured it out. And then just when the thing almost slices off his mustache, he's like, oh, thank goodness they didn't get my stash.
Oh man.
There was also when he like does a little drone, it's like work smarter, not harder. It's like that's Eggman.
Yeah, because like all of his other machines that have been with him and just keep being smashed by the traps, and he's just running through the traps. I really like that scene.
I know I have negatives in this movie.
Oh,
I can't talk about it because I can't think of any right now. I'm having so much fun.
I felt this was a better adventure film than Uncharted.
Oh man.
Because like this felt like it.
Thing.
Because this felt like an adventure. Like I felt like they were doing puzzles. They had light puzzles. Sure, there are no puzzles in Uncharted.
That makes me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole game.
To Ben's point, like talking about some negatives, I think we maybe spend a little more time with Wade than we need to. I think that's like maybe the one detractor. I'm happy about when it gives us a little bit more Stone, but it's maybe a little on too thick. And I like that actor a lot, and I'm glad they brought him back. Yeah. But maybe we're there a little too much with him.
It's not, none of it's bad, but it's definitely probably the weakest stuff.
Right.
The only time that I really just kind of appreciated his character was when the beginning when Sonic flies by and he's the speed trap. It's like, hey Wade, hey Sonic.
Yeah. I thought that was all we were going to see from him, to be honest.
Yeah.
yeah, I just think it's a smidge more than was needed. I think my biggest thing is like, it bothers me that I don't understand who those are, and it's really never talked about or referenced again. Like, Knuckles did not come through that ring alone. He came through after 3 other guys, and like, we don't know who they are, why they were there, what's up with them at all. And it's not addressed by Knuckles at all. Sure, Ben, but like, can you tell me the answer?
Not right now. I haven't read it yet.
Right. See, okay, fine, but I shouldn't have to read the comic to get that answer.
Yeah.
It's a confusing, it's a negative on the film that like, it's bizarre that Knuckles acts like he's never had anyone he can count on.
It feels like they know each other. Like they walk in.
But he came through that with them,
Yeah.
so I'm like, he has to have some kind of connection
again,
there.
it is probably like we know there's a show coming. I don't think everyone else knows that, but like we shouldn't have to rely on a show to guess. Like there should have been one line of like,
even if I didn't get an explanation about who they were,
Yeah.
an acknowledgement of some kind of their presence beyond Eggman beating them up and then trying to get past them, and like they kind of didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Like you just as easily could have done Eggman running for the ring portal and Knuckles coming out.
Yeah.
That would have worked just as well. Like
Mhm.
why were those guys there? They don't really serve the film in any way because Knuckles never references them again.
it is interesting that like again, there's not a single reference to them at all.
Yeah.
Even like they were a means to an end.
And I think that's
that would have been enough.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think it's a negative that there's just no acknowledgement of who they were. They're
Yeah.
so confusing.
Yeah, when I saw them come on screen, I was racking my brain with all the Sonic knowledge I have. Is like, who are these guys? What are they trying? They're definitely not swap bots. I was like, what the heck are these things? And then they just get taken out, and then Knuckles shows up.
All the more confusing because they're not just echidnas; they're humanoid characters, and so like I don't know what this means.
Yeah. And it's because it's like opens the movie too, so it's like, oh, we're gonna come back to this, right?
When they first popped out, I thought they were echidnas because they look like the echidnas from the beginning of the first movie.
Sure.
But then I realized they were. But then I realized they weren't CG, and I was like, "Oh wait, what? They're people. They're real."
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah. Other than that, one of the complaints I've been hearing from a lot of reviewers is that the film is too long. I mean,
How long was this movie?
2 hours.
2 hours.
It is 30 minutes longer than the last one, but like I think
I didn't feel it.
The jokes weren't good, but like all the jokes are pretty much good.
As you pointed out, you would think that the wedding part is the part where it'd be like, you really didn't need that.
Yeah.
Not true. Excellent.
Yeah.
I would change a thing.
So looking back a few years ago when we reviewed the first Sonic, I saw the movie twice before we reviewed it, and I do remember seeing like picking apart a little bit more. This time I've only seen the movie the one time. I'm probably sure that when I do go see it again a second time, I might find, okay, here's a few little more nitpicks, but at the same time, I walked out of this movie way more hyped, way more excited, way more happy for the future of Sonic the Hedgehog than the first one. The first one, I was just happy it exists and it was a decent film. I was like, we got the Tails tease, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever they do next, I will go in with high hopes. Cautious optimism. Now, strap me in. I am ready for whatever this ride is going to take me.
I got really excited at the end of this movie because
Yeah,
I was
you
like, "There's going to be another one of these," and I'm very excited.
One last sequence I do want to highlight that we haven't touched on is how great the sequence is of Sonic running across the ocean.
Oh, it's really great.
I was going to bring it up next.
Yeah, really excellent sequence.
I
Just
love
looks
that.
So good.
The whole like lead up to it is that he's doing this because he's like, I failed Tails and I'm gonna fail the world, and having the arc of being scared of water, like that's just scared of water, but he's
unable to
can't swim.
Canon in the games and the comic books, by the way, so great job on them.
Canon all across the board with Sonic, so I'm glad that they did it. And so it has the stakes, and it shows like Sonic's never run on water before.
Yeah,
this is new for him.
Jesus.
And I really like the charge up stuff. And then just it looks so good when he gets into the storm with it's just rendered so beautifully. It feels real. I turned to Sparks and was, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
There's a Jedi hologram of Longclaw.
Yeah, there is.
Longclaw's new, but I'm like, I don't know what's going on with you, Longclaw, but I want to know your whole story.
Right.
I love it.
At the same, not gonna lie, I was really, 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 really hoping that when Sonic was charging up to go in the water, he was gonna do the super peel out.
Oh yeah.
We haven't seen that. We haven't seen that in the movies yet, but
They did cutely acknowledge it with the opening when you have the little Sonic thing in front of the making the mushroom coffee, and he's doing his feet do the little red spin roll.
Is cute, yeah.
They did acknowledge that, which once again,
I will say not enough Sonic turning into a ball for me. I will say that. I wanted more of him doing the spinny dashes.
I will concede that only partly because boy did that Knuckles fight fill my quota.
This was the first time when he's running through the maze. This was the first time where we see him round a corner, and he's using the ball form on the ground in the dash. That wasn't in the first movie, so he's peeling out.
When he's going
dash form,
and he grabs
when he's going through the maze, is so cool. But
you get the pillar. You get the pillar with the spikes on it, which is from the game that chases him off. Yeah. Marty brought it up, but we brought it up earlier. The bubble swallow.
Yeah.
Super good.
The fight between Knuckles and Sonic is so well choreographed. The two of them kind of again this Dragon Ball Z thing where they kind of go to the other edge and they come back and they start fighting and she's turning into a ball and he's punching and it's
a lot
really solid.
Yeah, like people jumping into corners, then like sure, like
yeah. I was so into that. I was like, yeah, you charge up.
Yeah,
even
like good looking movie. Yeah,
even though Knuckles isn't the fastest thing, I mean, Sonic is obviously the fastest thing in this universe. Knuckles still can keep. I mean, he can't totally keep up, but he can keep pace with Sonic.
I didn't know he was I didn't know he was also speedy.
Yeah, we also get that Tails can do it. Like they have a burst of speed that's more than like people, but like that's like Sonic's like slow-mo speed.
Yeah,
not Sonic's like speed.
Yeah,
yeah. But the fact that they still let Knuckles run and he has like the red trails behind him, just like how Sonic has the blue ones, like they just do so good.
Speaking one of my gripes. Go ahead.
Well, I was like speaking of the Sonic slowdown speed when he's when he gets so fast that he slows down time in the temple when the missiles are going slow or aren't like completely stopped. They're just kind of going slower.
Yes.
I thought that was a really nice addition to the last one when he just like stops time essentially.
Right. That was one of my gripes with the first one is I didn't like that Sonic could just stop time because that's never been a part of it. And I'm like, that feels like that makes him too powerful. And there is a difference. Him moving faster, but things are still in motion is something that they did in this one twice. And I think it works very well.
Yeah.
The whole sequence where he's coming over and he goes through the drones and like gets on the buzz bomber and makes it eliminate a bunch of them. Really excellent. Just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we all reading Marty's comment?
Yes. Yeah, I just everything I wanted this one to be, it was, and more. Like, just so happy.
Yeah. I really, really liked this. And then afterwards you told me a bit about Shadow the Hedgehog's backstory, and baby.
I can't wait for more. I want to see this again. I'm so happy.
If great movies weren't coming out in the next couple of weeks, like I might see it again too. But yeah.
I was so ready to live with the disappointment that Sonic the Hedgehog film was going to be absolutely terrible. It was going to be the butt of another joke where it's like, they can never make a good video game movie. And the fact that I live in a world where Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is not just, I mean, for its time, the #1 movie in the world, but also also so many fans and non-Sonic fans alike are saying this is a good movie. Fans are saying it's a great movie. Not Casey Casuals saying it's a really good movie. The fact that we're living in this timeline just makes me so happy.
It's a good timeline.
So you reminded me of something that I wanted to bring up. The fact that like, I think this is the first truly great, all across the board, everyone agrees, great video game movie.
Outside Detective Pikachu or...
Well, Detective Pikachu still had its kind of naysayers. I really like that movie. But like this one feels like everyone's in agreement. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a great video game movie. And I think it's kind of a bummer that people might just kind of pass this one off as a kids movie, because this is the type of movie that should get so popular that it changes the way movies are made forever.
Right. Brandon, does this finally clear your bar? Is this a great movie?
I think so.
Yay!
Yeah,
you did it!
Because at the end of the day, yeah, like you can adapt something well, but like it's still a movie. You got to watch it.
Yeah.
And like you can have as much, again, same with comic books as any adaptation. Like the movie still got to be good. Luckily, it's a really funny comedy. That's a really good like family story. Sonic is the star of it as well. That's really great.
I just think that like in the same vein that we see like the MCU when that got really popular, how blockbuster filmmaking shifted to match. Like this is the type of movie that should get that at one time would have gotten so popular, that should get so popular that the shift is made in this direction.
At least it's like it's making a lot of money. It's not like it is getting good reviews. It's not like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and everything. There's
Sonic the Hedgehog for Best Picture at the Oscars.
Wow.
Wow.
But I'm as of right now, because I know when we're talking about for our anniversary special in June, as of right now, my top two things are Elden Ring and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Those are my
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 really.
I mean, this isn't better
really
than the Batman, but it's a good movie.
But this really came through. Like,
No,
what an achievement.
Yeah,
Man,
I was
it
going to
really-
say that. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Batman is a far superior film, but for me, as someone who thought I was never going to see this in my life, the fact that this film is this good and it's this well received, and all signs point to a third film. Signs are pointing to a film third coming out. They greenlit it. We know what's coming, and I am just so excited of what the future holds for not just the films, but of course Sega is going to take a big look at this. I'm sure they're getting a cut of the film proceeds. They know that's like, oh shit, we might be on top again. This is the first time since the 90s when Sonic was this popular, and he might finally have a leg up on Mario because we don't know what's going to happen with that Mario movie that's coming out in December. This could be that. This probably will be that.
Sparks.
It's wild to have seen that Shadow mid-credits tease and know it's getting followed up on.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild to have been in the theater and be like, I know I'm seeing the next part of this, and that's insanely cool.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, while this is an adaptation of, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, this is some of the most, like, fun, original blockbuster stuff I've enjoyed in a while. I know I'm, like, kind of stretching the use of original there, because it is adaptation and everything, but, like, there's something that felt fresh about seeing this in the theaters. Something that felt reinvigorating for blockbuster cinema in a way that I haven't felt for a bit. For a particular genre that's like blockbuster family, blockbuster family that really, really like, wow, we've hit something here.
And it is like there is fun for the whole family. Like, I wouldn't say it's as even kill as like a Pixar movie for everybody.
Sure.
But like they're making like dick jokes. They're making jokes that like kids have no idea what some of the things that they're saying. And they're like, okay, we know the parents are here, so let's drop in like a joke over here. And I'm like, there's some risque stuff in this movie. And I'm again, like you see like Robotnik's in like a maid outfit at one point, like on the screen. I'm like, it's a spicy Stone. What are you doing?
Jeff Fowler said that there were some that they obviously couldn't.
I believe
that
it.
they were pitching
I want
to do, and he's like, a few of them we were like, that's a little too adult.
The lead
What we were gonna do.
Yeah, but we said it before. We said quite a few times during this review, but the love and passion for not just for the franchise, for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, not just the video games, but everything surrounding it, even the jokes and the marketing ploys that Sega made in the 90s are here. I was hoping and praying that when we saw the posters, when the posters were released for Sonic 2, they would spoof the game cover. They did. It's one of the best posters that they made for this film, and I want that so bad. I can't remember the last time I wanted a poster so damn bad in my life.
Right.
Just everything about this makes a diehard Sonic fan like me, and possibly you, Sparks.
This kind of sits in the same place for me as like Paddington.
Sure.
Like, you know, the kind of movie that you come out of and you're like blockbuster family, like you said, Sparks, where you just come out of and be like, yeah, we achieved something here.
Yeah.
This was an achievement.
It's wild to like think back to the early promotional material for the first Sonic the Hedgehog and like people just being like, oh my god, this looks like the worst garbage in the world.
How far
I
we've
can't believe
come.
like it's Sonic paired with a speed cop. Like, what are we doing? And then get to here and be like, man, what an incredible feat.
Like 3 years ago, we were dreading like this ugly, realistic looking Sonic. And then 3 years later, like we got one of the greatest video game movies ever made. It's like, man, times
all right.
It's all right. We did all right.
I do still want to talk about our book club. We have really shared our love. I'm sure Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is going to come back around on our lane. So let's rate it.
I have one more thing I wanted to say, but I don't remember what it was. I do want to say that this is the second video game movie trilogy that we've gotten. It's only ever been two: Resident Evil and this.
Oh, and Resident Evil's like 2 times 2.
Yeah, but I only kind of like trilogy. They
Sure.
got that first trilogy, but yeah,
Yeah.
interesting, right?
Very.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
Okay. So let's rate it. Ben, why don't you go first?
I'm still riding high. I gotta give it a 10. The Sonic fan in me is saying everything about this movie. It's not a perfect movie, it's not. It's truly not. But for me, this is me speaking as a diehard Sonic fan, as someone who's been bleeding Genesis Blue ever since he held a controller for the first time in 1993. This is everything I hoped for and more, and I cannot wait. It is a 10. I cannot wait to see this movie again. I may give it a lower score throughout the year, but I don't care. Right now, it is a 10 out of 10 film. It is amazing. If you are a diehard Sonic fan, 10. If you're a Casey casual, 8.5. Amazing film. Amazing film for Sonic fans.
I may surprise you, Ben.
No, actually, Ben had it exactly right. I'm giving it 8.5. If you are a fan of Sonic, there's a lot to love. I think Tails is a little grating at times. That's because I'm not familiar with the character, and I'm sure learning more about him will give me more love. But the 7th time I heard, "Boy, Sonic, I love you so much," I'm like, no, I get it, my guy. You're cool. I get it. 8.5. Really fun time at the
Still
movies.
such an incredible rating, though.
Yeah. No, like this is the best video game movie probably since
Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
I guess. I keep forgetting that movie came out. But yeah,
do you think I think it's better than Detective Pikachu.
I
mean, like, and I saw it recently enough where I can really say that, and I'm like, there's something in this that's taking it beyond.
Yes, because I remember I only saw it the once, but I remember having some issues with the third act for some reason, and I don't have any issues with this third act at all. So yeah, best video game movie.
I think the thing is
the third act might be the best third act I've seen in years.
I think at the end of the day, the thing is, like, Detective Pikachu has problems that pull it behind in its script focus, whereas this one is like, even when like anything else could fail you, it still remains a great comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like awesome.
Funny
for me. It's a 9.
Hell yeah.
I absolutely am so pleased. I've expressed it plenty. I am quite pleased with this film.
Beautiful.
My last thing I was trying to say was that it feels like a world where a magical pyramid can show up underneath the ocean, and James Marsden could live in that world.
Yes,
and that's crazy. I think it's a really good feat. I'm kind of the opposite of Ryan. Like, I think even if you're not a Sonic fan, this movie's a blast.
Yeah.
So like
8.5 is a good score.
No, I know, but you said there's not a lot for Sonic fans. I'm for non-Sonic fans, and I don't necessarily agree with that, which is why I kind of give it. It's definitely a 9 for me. I had a ball. Like, I can't wait to see this again. I can't wait to own this, and I want to see the next one. Like now.
I'll tell you one of the things that I'm thinking about it. I liked the adventure, the journey. This is going to sound more negative than it means, but it was super simplistic. Like, we got to go find a compass. We found it. We got to go to the place. We did it. And I'm like, okay, there wasn't anything else to it. And that's not a bad thing, but it didn't as not a Sonic fan, there wasn't a lot for me to chew on, but I still had a really good time with the characters and stuff. But like, the journey wasn't, maybe it was a little too long for me. Who knows? 8.5.
I have to have a conversation with you about that, Sparks, about the Long Claw map that Obi-Wan Kenobi'd. That was wild, because I thought it was the same map. I thought it was the same map from the first movie, but it's not.
So did I.
No, because it doesn't have the circle with the other circles in it. It's just a map of like Earth or something.
Oh, I thought we were just. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I thought we only got like a tight look on one part of it.
Answer me this question: how come he was able to touch the map all those times before, but it turned into the Obi-Wan hologram?
Because he said Master Emerald, which is like the keyword, because it meant he knew that it existed.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay,
so he was looking for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Pulled that out of my butt. All right,
I'll take it. Sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought it was a different map, because like if he didn't, he wouldn't touch it often. It would just be kind of an accident.
No, I think it's the same map.
All right. Great movie. Really happy we saw it. Really happy we get to do it. Awesome.
Good.
It's awesome. All right.
Movie.
Book club?
Yes.
Book it, Dano.
All right, Ben, take it away.
You know, if I'd known we were going to skip the book club last week, I would have changed it to a Knuckles books for us for the movie since we were doing. But anyways, yeah, my book club this week for the past 2 weeks is Once and Future, written by Karen Gillian, drawn by Dan Mora, and I believe colors by Tamara Bonvillain. I could be wrong.
You're right.
Tomra.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it is volume 1, The King is Undead. I picked this book because of I've heard great things about it.
I'm sorry. Tomra Bonvillain.
Oh.
Very good name.
That is an extremely good name. That sounds like a Bond villain's name, I swear to God.
It does.
That's just because it says Bond Villain.
Yeah.
Bond villain. Bond villain.
Now I'm thinking
That's a Bond villain coming up. It's got to be.
Now I'm thinking of not Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in Expendables.
The Expendables.
Yeah.
Villain.
Yeah. Anyways, I picked this book because obviously I've been playing Elden Ring for the past 3.5 weeks, and it's completely controlled my life. And outside of Sonic the Hedgehog, I am on a big fantasy kick. I really had a great time with this book, and I'm actually trying to hunt down the hard copy or like the physical copy, like what Brandon has, and volume 2, or I might just get what Ryan is holding, which is a.
Ben, this was on sale for the last couple of weeks, so.
I swore the third time. Sorry, Brandon.
I have all 4 volumes like this. So which is why I don't have the hardcovers, because I got this, and so I've just figured to go from there.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So what do we all think of Once and Future?
I loved this. I loved it the first time I read it. I loved it the second time I read it, which is now. Because I read this a few weeks ago, if you remember my beginning of the show once.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really like this book. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's really inventive. Love the art. I think the art's awesome.
Dan Mora is top 5 right now.
Just the choices on color, where you didn't need to put colors like that there, and just like the way that's still used. So like every panel is a treat to look at, honestly, because of the way they decide to color everything.
And Tamra Bonvillain is a terrific colorist, and I like color is a big. Dan Mora is such a terrific artist, but like color can make or break a comic, and like the colors in this book pop like no other.
Right.
Dan Mora's art like sings, and she just makes it even better.
Yeah.
I love the part in the the very end of the volume where King Arthur is like, you still see King Arthur undead, but the eyes.
Speaking of colors,
it's just gorgeous. And of course, I see the quest.
I can do that. I got a big skeleton.
And yours are the glossy pages too.
Oh yeah, but this is a fucking excellent looking book. Oh my God.
Yeah. What was I saying about? Oh yeah, like we were talking about color, like the green eyes when Granny reveals that your queen lay with a French dude, and King Arthur is just like, my queen is laid with a Frank. What? And
can I just so one of the things that I love about this book is how as the grandmother says, it's not real, it's just true.
Right.
So like when you believe when a story is believed so much, it becomes true. So what they've done is, and she's trying to figure out, okay, well, I got to figure out which King Arthur that they've resurrected, because it's not the classic king. It's not the King Arthur that you think about. It's the really old, really problematic one.
What point in the timeline? What's the story narrative that works here? Who's the person?
Right, because he talks about like, oh, she's got a Gawain, but Gawain isn't this King Arthur didn't have a Gawain. Yeah, Percival.
Right.
I love this book so much. This book rules. Because it does the thing, like you said, Brandon. The story is true, and these people, they built their lives around the story to make it true.
Yes.
Like the Gran, she made herself a Fisher King to make the story true by shooting herself.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that whole angle, there's too much to talk about in the story. It is too good. I read like 10 issues, and I can't talk too much because I'll confuse stuff from the next volume.
Right.
Because it's so good. All the stuff with Galahad and like the mother, and she's like one of the saddest lines I've ever read in the comic. It's when Duncan goes to meet his mother, and like it's like, Mom, he's like, I'm not your mother. I can't be.
Right.
And I'm like, that's one of the harshest things I've ever read. And he still tries to save her.
Well, I also like the way that he says it is like, there's a look on his face that it's not quite the mom that you're expressing there. It's like a mom, like an acknowledgement of like, I know who you are and I know what this is.
Yeah.
and I'm disappointed in it.
Oh, I love it.
Because the Fisher King is revealed to be the grandmother, to be like grandfather. And he's like, I'm not gonna let you win. I'm just. And he shoots himself. He kills himself to get out of the story. Or like oh, the story's got a hold of you now, son. And her when he's like, so you mean this is like King Arthur with like Excalibur, right? And it's like, not Sword of the Stone doesn't mean Excalibur. That wasn't always the case.
Stories evolve over time.
Yeah.
And then like, even though I was thinking about it, because I remember the first time I read like a King Arthur book that was like, it was meant for kids, but it was still pretty dense, as in like, this is like the true lore. Like, yeah, he pulls the sword in the stone, but the sword in the stone breaks and he gets Excalibur from the Lady of the Lake.
Yeah, it's not, sword isn't his, it's the Lady in the Lakes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good bit, because like the idea, the thing that I really liked about like about when he's like, split the sword in the stone, that's he's found Excalibur. There's a lot of swords and a lot of stones. It doesn't mean it's Excalibur. Excalibur's was the Lady of the Lakes, not Arthur's.
And then he goes to the bath and he invokes the name of the Lady of the Lakes, and you see a bunch of hands with Excalibur. It's like, Excalibur's yours, Percival. It's like, man, this is some cool shit.
There's so much like great myth building and like use of like, there's a questing beast which shows up in the first issue, and then it just like runs away, and he's like, what is that about? He's like, oh, that's a questing beast, you'll deal with him later, don't worry. And then at the end of the volume he has to deal with them. He's like, oh, so easy, because like, yeah, you're like a superhero now. But
one of my favorite lines, you used to hunt vampires? Yes, I used to, then I ran out of vampires.
And she's got a smile.
So good.
Love the grandmother in this so much. Like when she shoots herself to become the Fisher King, so Percy can get into Overworld.
But like she's so funny too, because there's another line where I took a lot of pictures of Grant's lines. I won't say them all, but where it's like, oh, you have a text message, because she's hijacked him. She's hijacked Percy, and he goes, oh, you have a text message. You have a text message, dear, from a girl, Rose. How's it going with your gran? That's sweet.
I love her when they're out to the dinner and she's like, yeah, go get your gran, you goof. And then that she becomes an important character. I was really happy for.
I definitely saw it coming that she was going to be important to the plot, but it's so like natural and feels like, oh, this is definitely like a movie thing of like they're like destined to be together.
This is the one that she's now one of the people who clean up, like, you know, she'll find the right numbers. It's like there's this job that's passed down from generation to generation. She's the next one.
She also knows too much about the story, so that's why for her it has to be true.
Yeah. They have this incredible concept of like they go to Otherworld, and like they have to put out a candle to like basically close the portal to Otherworld. So when they're leaving this church, they don't close it in time. They don't close it in time, and like this evil like Elden Ring looking assassin comes out, starts murking fools, and then she puts the candle out and he just disappears. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh my god, all these people are dead!" Like, and I cannot overstate. Like, I know Brandon, you're such a big fan of Dan Mora. Like the art, especially in this big ass deluxe book, guys, it is truly some of the most beautiful art I've ever seen in a comic. And the colors pop so hard, and like the King Arthur design is so wicked. And it's so cool. He's like, "Oh, I'm the King of England. I hate everyone who's not an English person. I'm racist." And I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense. Yeah." Okay.
He looks kind of like the Mummy's second form.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I love how his crown is just so evil looking. Because when you think King Arthur, you think of like a true nobleman. Like when I mean nobleman, I mean like someone who is just and who fights for honor and truth, and who actually like upholds the mantle of what a king should be. I am here to look out for my people, a true king of the round table. And you see this mofo, and it's like he just murks the dude because he's like, "You're Anglo-Saxon, Shiv."
I love a crown, like thorn crown. Love it. Sticking out of your head, I love it.
There's a line that the grandmother has where she's talking about that's King Arthur. There's the prophecy he said to return in Britain's darkest hour. It's like, there's something that always rubbed me the wrong way about that prophecy. Never trust a prophecy that can be interpreted two different ways. And she says it's either he'll come back in Britain's darkest hour or he'll cause Britain's darkest hour.
I am always a fan of recontextualizing like mythology in this way, like another Dan Mora Klaus, whatever you want to say, like he does like Santa and Norse mythology and stuff, and like it's always fun, and comics are the perfect medium because you can just really just go bonkers wild with the aesthetics and the art and stuff.
For sure.
This book is super fun. I love Kieran Gillen's background in the X-Men, so he's like doing Otherworld stuff. So he's just like working Otherworld in all the time. He's like, I love Merlin. Like, good for you, bud.
Oh yeah, the tease with the tease with Merlin really gets me and really wants me to keep on reading because Merlin also looks creepy and scary like an Elden Ring.
Yeah. This was supposed to be a 5-issue miniseries.
And it was super popular.
Did very well, so they made it another one. And I have to wonder if that tease was in the initial 5 issues or was that added to kind of be like, no, we're still going. We got more issues coming.
I feel like it would be baller if like it was like we're only doing 5 and here's the potential if it ever what the future could be, and then like it sold like 1 million copies. Like, no, do it now. You could just do it. I'm like, cool. I'll start writing it.
And right now I'm looking at the
Galahad is very attractive.
Oh my god, what a little dirtbag. The perfect prince. But he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
And Duncan's like, oh, you're off your rocker, and punches him. I love it.
Because Galahad's dad is Lancelot, right?
Yes.
And so this King Arthur is not supposed to have Galahad, and when he finds out that Frenchman Lancelot, because he was hatted when Britain had a French queen, but he's like, what, the Frenchman was my wife, and he like loses it, and that destroys the story because now there's a paradox.
Right.
And that's what's so fun because like, man, like I was about to talk about something from the next issues, but like Galahad he's around a lot more.
Yeah.
Merlin's great. It's and like I can look at any one of these pages and I'll be like, oh man, that's just a truly stunning work of art, and it could just be a dude talking. I'm like,
oh yeah, look at the Frank laid with my queen.
That's
I
the
love
scene
it.
I was talking about how the colors popping, about how gorgeous it looks.
I love Dan Mora.
So
Great.
please don't hate me, but Volume 2 might be a future book club of mine, because I really want to keep reading this story. It's really good.
I mean, you
You can just read comics.
yeah.
Yeah,
Outside of the show.
I know.
It's a thing you can do.
I know it's a thing I could do. I might just. I did put the deluxe edition on my wish list on Amazon, to be perfectly honest, and it is on sale. I'm like, I really want to, but I need to save money and be really careful till payday this week.
Anything else we want to bring up?
This book is great. I was really excited. This did live up to the hype, and I want to read more. And I probably, what am I kidding? Of course I'm going to read more. I'm still head deep in Elden Ring here, so I'm like, give me more.
This is my favorite.
Give me more.
This is my favorite thing that Kieran Gillen's done.
Yeah, it's definitely, he's written like, I think almost nothing but good stuff, but this definitely is like, oh, this is like the good shit.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed Die, but I liked this a lot more.
Yeah.
All right. If there's anything else,
Good book.
Ryan,
It's me.
it's your book club next week.
Hey guys, guess what? There's a current Marvel television show called Moon Knight happening. So I was like, what Moon Knight comic do I want us to check out? And I don't want to pick any of the modern stuff because, like, one, most of us have read it, and two, that's what literally everyone else is currently reading. So I want to pick something a little obscure, but I didn't want to go all the way back to the 80s because that's like before Mark got like really introspective and D.A.D. was kind of like, I'm a mercenary man. So I found a comic I haven't read yet. And that's not something that happens with Moon Knight. And this is a series I didn't even know existed. It came out in 2010, and it's by Greg Hurwitz and Jerome Pena, and art and colors by Dan Brown. It is Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Volume 1, Shock and Awe. This takes place during the Heroic Age, during Norman Osborn's in charge of a hammer and shield. That's my favorite period of Marvel. And I haven't read this Moon Knight comic, so I'm hella excited. Here's the thing, real quick, guys. It's a 10-issue series because it got canceled. Would you guys be willing to read all 10 issues? Because, like, I'm going to read the next 4. You can say no. I'll read the first 6. That's fine.
How about let's try.
Do 6 for sure. I'm going to read all 10 because it's only 4 more.
There's a lot going on right now. But I will try.
I get it. I understand.
I think what we'll do is
Volume 1, Volume 2 is only 4 issues.
When we'll attempt, but with the when we get to the episode, we'll see who read up to what.
I will read all 10, and then we'll talk about the first 6. How about that?
That's it.
That's Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Yep.
He really
try and do it if you can.
I'm not expecting you guys to, so don't worry.
I will do my best to read all 10.
All right. That'll do it. I think, right? Hello. Hi. You good? Cool.
We got it. Right. I got to go to bed.
Next week we are not talking about Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Dumbledore.
No,
that's not it.
No,
we are not talking about that. Instead, we are going to be talking about Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah,
It is wide.
video coming out.
We all should be able to see it now
Yep.
in our respective towns.
And then after
Very,
that, we go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 again.
I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited we finally get to see this movie.
Yeah, the hype is too real. Like it's like they're saying like, man, it's like the next Matrix. And I'm like, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that.
It's like, don't tease me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So cannot wait. All right, that'll do it. Thank you to everyone who watches the thing. That's later. Sorry. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel. You can check out all sorts of things on this channel, such as our Fake Nerds Watch series, which we are doing Moon Knight. We'll probably, the next episode that comes out will be like 2 and 3. We're busy right now. These guys are moving. Like, I'm sad. You know.
I mean, I'm also sad, Brandon. I have multitudes.
No, I know.
Okay.
I didn't say you weren't sad.
No, I know. Just like I'm also moving, but also other things.
I'm sad that we're moving.
Oh, I'm just depressed. I thought. Sorry. No.
I said that you guys are moving.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't make that clear.
No, I got you. I'm also sad that I'm moving.
So yeah. So things are busy. So probably 2 and 3 will be the next episode.
I really want to talk about Moon Knight with you guys too.
Yeah.
Star Trek Picard is the other series going on over on Fake Nerds Watch. That's got a couple more episodes. I'm hoping to get that 6th episode out this week. We'll see if that happens. It's a busy time right now. It's tax season. Scariest time of the year, am I right?
No.
Basement Arcade is another show we do. Sometimes an episode of Mortal Kombat X is supposed to come out. That sounded way saucier than I wanted it to. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You
No,
don't ever release another one ever again.
Oh, I hate that. I hate me for that.
You just cancel that show, Brandon.
Good.
Don't cancel Basement Arcade. That's one of my babies.
You're right. We'll cancel the other baby. Basement Arcade pause menu is canceled. Sorry, Ben.
It's Mortal Kombat or which one, Ben? Some's canceled.
It's Basement Arcade or pause menu. And they're both just going to say BA on the thing, and you're just going to have to pick one, whatever one that is. Anyway,
Bap 'em.
those two shows are not canceled. But they are on our channel, so check out all sorts of cool stuff. Fake Nerd Book Club and Animation Station as well. All of those can be found in the description. Sorry, all of those can be found on this channel. Again, like this video, subscribe to our channel. Conversation Season 2 is in production. Got a lot going on in my life, so it's taking a little slow, but I'm hoping June. So, check out some of our masks. We've got some Crafted by Z masks you can still check out. I'm probably going to say that until we figure out what else to do with them. I think we're probably going to maybe try bookmarks or things like that. But we still got the fabric for masks, so if you want a Fake Nerd Podcast mask, go ahead.
I like a Fake Nerd bookmark. That sounds like a good idea.
Well, stay tuned. Of course, get strapped to our Patreon or our TeePublic. You can buy stuff on our TeePublic should you want to support us financially. We would greatly appreciate it. Lots of cool merchandise on our TeePublic. You can find all these links on our website at FakeNerdPodcast.com. Everything is there. You can check out all the shows, check out things. Those are all linked below in the description. Check those out. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches the live stream. We had a couple people in the live stream tonight. That was really cool. Thank you to people who watch the rewind. We really appreciate all of your support. Thank you. Thank you to Jimmy Bellucci for doing all the music you heard here tonight and all the music you hear on our shows. Yes. You can find him at Jeremy Bellucci Keyboards. You can find his podcast, Suburban Proctologist, at Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official or Instagram at Subrock Podcast. Of course, you can find it on iTunes. Thank you to Mike Mottola, TikTok sensation Mike Mottola. He's on TikTok and Instagram. You can check him out at Mike Mottola. He did our logo. He did 3 of our logos for us and a few collaborations and hopefully more soon. You're welcome, Grayson.
Thanks, Grayson.
You said thanks for the stream on chat. You're welcome.
Yeah. Mag's not in the chat anymore, but good night, Mag.
Yeah,
it feels weird not to say that.
I think
he
did say he had to pop in he was in for a short break. So, anyways,
this is not a short break show.
Anyways, thank you for popping in, Mag, and once again, thank you to everyone else who popped in. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Subscribe. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. I am at BC McClure on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me writing on Atomic Geekdom, my Revisiting the Infinity Saga series. You can find me writing for Screen Rant fairly regularly. About 4 or 5 articles go up a week. I also edit for Kaiju Ramen Weekly, Kaiju Ramen Magazine, on their website. I should have some more pieces coming up. I'm really behind. I'll catch up. I hope. Ben?
Man, you are a workhorse, buddy. Okay. You can find me on the internet at BenMagnet27 on Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok. You can also find me writing for Fusion Gaming Magazine, Old School Gamer Magazine, and GoNintendo.com. And you can also find me streaming on Twitch Tuesday and Saturday mornings at 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/BenMagnet27. There's Mag. There he is.
He heard the name.
The chosen one.
Sparks.
You can find me going fast at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty.
Don't go too fast. I'll miss you.
I'll go too fast.
Ryan.
You can find me helping other lonely tarnished in Elden Ring until the day I die.
Or killing them.
Or killing them this week at DJ Tony Snark. Watch out. Watch out.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcasts, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Until next time you see us.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Oh,
Randall!
Oh, shoot.
And his name is John C.
We're back. Goofy. We're back and still live.
Oh no! Yeah!